Okay, they said we're ready to go.
Do we need to wait on a cue from?
We don't have, he sent me a message.
Okay, good deal.
I don't have the book.
One here, Sonny. I'll see you in a few.
No, I don't. What's this?
Ready.
Okay. We will now call the hearing to order. Roll call.
Veronica Roundtree,
Here.
Ryan Duke,
Here.
David Hitchcock, William Wainwright,
Here.
Jordan Corbin, Lilia Marion.
Present. Okay. We have approval of the minutes from our last hearing, August 23rd of 2022.
Motion to approve the August minutes.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to approve the minutes from our last hearing. Swearing our witnesses now.
You're going to testify, can you please stand and raise your right hand?
If you're going to speak to the board, please stand and raise your right hand.
Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Our first case will be on page 5, at the top of the page. Last four numbers, 0550, 1128 Neville Avenue, Ricardo Clergio, and Code Enforcement Officer Alex Gomez.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement. Case number is LCE 15-00550. The address is 1128 Neville Avenue. The owner is Ricardo Clergio. Ordinance is 5425, section 4.4.1, fence condition. Date of violation is 2/2/15. The order on 8/23/2022. Case will be dismissed with payment upon payment of $130,000, $130,600. The city recommends the fines be reduced to 10%, which is $13,060, plus administrative costs of $1,003.25, for a total of $14,063.25. If paid by 10/25/2023, or reverts back to the original amount. There was 54 inspections and 4 hearings on this case.
Okay. State your name for the hearing.
My name is Richard Clergio. Okay, I moved to 1128, I bought the house there in 2006.
Can you pull that up a little closer?
So we can hear.
Yeah. I bought the house in 2006. The address is 1128 Neville Avenue. Why was, it stay there? And while they were in my front of my yard, I got 2 guys, come gun me down, injure me physically, mentally. I had to went to the emergency room. Then after that, there was the hurricane season. The storm coming bad, and I got a lot of trees was in the yard. The storm knocked them tree down over the fence. One area of the fence was damaged. Then it was cost to remove, the trees and fix the fence. I can't afford it to do it myself. what I did, I removed some of them trees off the fence. Then I asked for help. I didn't get any help to do it. Then since I got gunned down, I got scared. Then I decided, I said I'm gonna fix it to when I got money. So I never get any money, so the fence just keep stay without fix. So there wasn't my intention not to going to get it fixed. The problem is I just don't have the money to do it. Then, like I say, I got scared then, to stay there without fence. Then that's why I was choosing to get it repaired. Then we keep going on, keep going on, keep going on. I was expecting to get some money, but it never happened. Then, I'm family of 8. I'm the one who works to take care of the family. Then I don't think, in United States, I know that they stand for to help, not to make it worse for our residents. Okay. Okay, the city decided to charge me, put the fine on me. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. If I don't have money now, to fix it, where I'm going to have the money, extra money to pay the fine? I don't have it. Like I said, I have a big responsibility. I'm proud to take care of my family. That's why I'm a hardworking person. I count on my own to work to take care of myself and my family. Then I'm not the officer, they're doing their job. This is nice to live in a community, to good environment, be safe, clean. I love that. But on my part, the officer doing his job, but the officer don't know my situation if I don't explain it to him. And my kids, I know sometimes I got a lot of stuff in my yard too. The kids, they love to play. That's why, I probably have a lot of stuff in my yard because I don't have no big house, it's a small house. I don't have no big yard. I don't have no shade, garage to install my kids' toy to play. So I had to take those freedom away from them because I got to do it right. That's why a lot of things they used to play in the yard, so I decided to throw them away. Some I can put inside, I put them inside. Well, I'm here to tell, Joanna, I can't afford to pay money to pay for the fine. I got high blood pressure. I cannot take any more pressure on me. I think I'm full with pressure. If I get any more pressure, I think I'm just, I think I'm going to have a stroke. Like I said, I got to stand to take care of my family. Please, I ask for reconsideration. Please.
Okay. Board, do you have any questions or anything to ask him?
I mean, I saw pictures from 2017. Is that the most current outside of the... So, I mean, the case is closed now, I guess. Was the fence removed, or?
Yes, I have removed it.
You had it taken down?
When to come into compliance? Oh, August.
Should be more pictures than that.
Mr. Gomez, the agenda references an order from August. Can you clarify what that is?
That would be the code board meeting in August. There was no appearance on that day.
Okay.
I have to actually look in the computer system.
Okay.
That's it now.
Right, the order, on the agenda where it says order, that is automatically generated whenever we close a case to total out the fine amount.
Okay.
Right, so there wasn't an order from a hearing. That's just automatically generated on the agenda to total up the fine when the fine stops.
Thank you. Can you also clarify then, so the sole violation is the condition of the fence, and that violation ran then from February 2nd, 2015, all the way to August 23rd, 2022. And so that is where that's the source of the fine, is the fact that the fence was in disrepair for 7 years.
Right, and approximately there were 13 status letters sent and the property was posted.
At any point, did you have any contact with, I think you mentioned having talked to a code enforcement officer at some point?
Yes, I have talked to Mr. Gomez.
Okay.
The-
So you just Mr. Gomez here now?
Yes.
Okay.
So the contact came actually from a grounds case that had opened up on him.
Okay.
So I had contact with him. That's when I explained all the cases that were open. And at that point, that's when the cases started getting cleared up. So once he finally contacted me about them. As I said, he was receiving status letters throughout the whole
Yeah.
time, so.
And it sounds like you knew that the fence was in bad shape.
Yes, sir.
So when you received the letters, did you not understand what they were saying?
Okay, what happened there? Some letters, when they come behind me. The reason is, I'm drive truck. When I'm leave, I stay out. Sometimes the letter come behind me, or the kids, they go to the mailbox. They take them, they take them out the mail. They didn't, I never, get to them letters.
You understand that those fines go back 7 years? So it's nothing new. It's something that was already 7 years ago
Yes.
about that fence? Okay.
You didn't think about removing the fence earlier?
Okay, no, I wasn't. The reason is I wasn't thinking about it. Like I said early, when I got up, two guys gunned me down in my front yard, bloody, injury, physically, mentally. So I got scared. I said, I'm gonna keep the fence, I'm gonna repair the fence. Then I keep waiting, to get money to do it. But I never, I never have any chance because money never come to my hand to get it done. Then the last time when I had speak to the officer, Gomez, he asked me, I got two options, whether I got to remove it or fix it. Then at the last, then that's when I made final decision. I said, okay, let me go ahead. I remove it. But even I do it, but I wasn't feel like I'm safe because what happened to me, at my home.
Sure.
I choose Lakeland to be my, I love Lakeland. That's why I never, I listen, I listen to the law enforcement. I never get in trouble. I never cause any trouble. I'm not a street person. I'm not. I'm the citizen of the United States. I stand by the law.
I would like to make a recommendation in view of the fact that he has removed the fence. I make a motion that he pays administrative costs only.
we have a second on that?
I was thinking a reduction. I'm not opposed to the administrative cost, but I don't know.
I mean, this has been going on for 7 years,
Yeah.
so I agree with a reduction. This is still a lot of money.
Mr. Gomez, can you clarify for the board, what was the date that you actually spoke to the respondent here, and how long from that point did it take for him to bring it into compliance?
I don't have one listed there. What date I actually spoke to him on. Once our conversation started, that's when everything got cleaned up. The front yard, the fence, were the two cases that I had from him when I took over the area. So to give you an exact date, I can't give you one. Once we started talking, it took a little bit to get the first case, the one I actually had on him, to get done, and then the fence.
He took care of it. You say soon as you talked to him?
It took a little time, but he did take care of it.
There was a status letter sent in April, and in August is when the case was closed.
So between April and August of this year.
4 months.
I do one more thing.
Madam President.
Yes.
Oh, what I was going to say in, when
Sir, if you could speak up a little bit, I'm sorry to interrupt.
when I buy the house, I was kind of confused about the fence too. I wasn't fully understand if the fence was my fence, because the fence was there when I buy the house. When I buy the front part, I put the fence around the front part,
Yeah.
and the gate.
Yeah.
I've been remove my front, but on the other side, they was there when I moved in. I was confused whether if there was my fence or the neighbor fence.
Had he contacted me earlier, I could have.
Yeah.
That's the issue is.
Yeah, we're struggling.
Till he contacts me and asks me what was going on is when everything finally got started, so.
Yeah.
Till he makes the effort to come and call me, I just can't,
Yeah.
I can only send status letters at that point.
Right, yeah, that's the issue that we have, is that it went on for so long, and we see that if you got a status letter in April that you responded to, and then by August it was fixed. I understand you're feeling unsafe without the fence after, your experience. So I understand your desire to try to keep the fence up. But I also see that, if it took from April to August to remedy it and to bring it into compliance, then that was an option as well. So I think that's what makes it harder for. And then, I can't try a case that's not in front of us, but there is concern that, we'll have more issues here at this property. Yeah. If I can, if hasn't been too long, I think I'll second Miss.
It's up to the chair.
Okay, is that okay for me to second her motion for admin costs only?
Okay. A motion by Ms. Berryon and a second by Mr. Wainwright. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 No.
It has been motioned and approved to accept admin costs only, which is $1,003.25 to be paid by October 25th of 2023. You have 1 year to pay just the admin costs of $1,003.25, okay? Okay, you have another case though. Our next case is at the bottom of page 6. Last four is 4042. The address is 1128 Neville Avenue. Owner Ricardo Clergio. Officer Alex Gomez.
Alex Gomez, City of Lincoln Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 18-04042. Address is 1128 Neville Avenue. Owners are listed in the agenda. Violations ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, care of premises, open storage and junk. Date of violation was 10/8/2018. The order on 129/2019, the case will be dismissed upon payment of $3,150. City recommends that the fine be reduced 10% to $315, plus administrative cost of $301.49, for a total of $616.49 to be paid by 10/25/2023 or revert back to the original amount.
Okay, state your name for the hearing.
Yeah, I'm Richard Clergio.
You have to talk a little
Yeah,
louder.
man,
Your name?
Richard Clergio.
Okay, thank you. You have heard the officer. What do you have to say about this case?
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair.
Okay.
This one
Right,
is $616.49. Can you pay that, sir?
No, I can't. If I had money, I can't agree to pay, but I don't have it. I can't afford it. And about those items, I wasn't understanding part of what can be designed to be inside and what can be outside. Okay.
But this is,
Sometimes, we bring a chair on the porch to sit. Sometimes the chair got left out there on the porch. Then the officer told me, is some items, designed to be inside. I understand about the furniture, designed to be inside. Some of them items for me, them chair, my understanding was, designed, to be outside,
Okay.
is there a
Well,
picture up? So I see a lot of overgrowth, but this is for open junk and debris. So that chair right there,
Yeah, okay, this chair, yeah, those chair there, those been removed,
yeah.
they've been removed. I listen, I follow the instruction the officer gave me. I remove them. But it's not like a lot of stuff is for my kids. I don't have like a lot of furniture. I don't in furniture on the porch. I mean, if the officer coming back, okay, if I use my wife after she mop the floor, the mop bucket, she probably leave it outside where the mop can be dry. The officer coming back, he saw it, then he added to his report, but the mop is not permanently be there
Sure.
every day.
Yeah.
When you drive my wife move, he put inside, but the officers, when he coming back, he put it down on his list,
Well,
So
So I'll just say if the case opened in 2018, anytime an officer drives by your property from 2018 until there's nothing there, and so your property's in compliance, they will cite anything that they deem as junk based on the code. So it could, even if you pick up the chairs and move them inside, if there's something else outside that they deem as junk, it goes along with the same case and keeps it active. So the fact that it went on from 2018 until, I'm assuming, August as well, or pretty
No.
close.
29.
So this case was open and closed prior to my time in code enforcement.
Okay.
So,
Oh, so it's still, but the longer amount of time the case is open is basically what I'm saying, the more likely there is for the case to continue to add up, even if you move stuff around and clean it up.
the other thing too, I wasn't understand after, when I get it done, if I had to call the officer right away, for me, I think, if I clean it, when the officer come back next time, he saw it,
Yeah.
I think he gonna whatever, make a checklist, okay, it's clean, whatever, then he close it. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking I had to call him for the reinspection.
Yeah.
You know, that's what that's what I misunderstand. You know.
Yeah. So, I mean, it looks like this one, so I was mistaken, it was closed in 2019. So it looks like from June of 18 to, just the beginning of, 2019. So that one was dealt with pretty quickly, but for the amount of time that there was still stuff out there, it's still in violation, so that's where the fine is assessed.
And also, there are notes from the officer
About-
that he had spoken with the resident
Yeah.
and explained what they needed to do in reference to getting the pile picked up.
Right,
So there were several other inspections past that failed.
yeah.
You see.
Make a motion to accept staff recommendations.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Duke, second by Ms. Berrien. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff recommendation. Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Oh, thank you.
And that amount is, go back here, $616.49 to be paid by October 25th, 2023. So you have a year to pay that amount,
And so
okay?
we can tell you and anybody else here today who comes before us, you can pay as little as you are able to pay all the way up until that year. And then at that date, you'll come back before us and we can assess based on, what you have paid. But you make sure you allocate which case you're paying so that you're paying on, because you have two cases, and make sure you're paying, even if it's just a little bit, to each of those cases moving forward.
Okay, yes. Thank you.
Okay. Our next case will be on page 8, middle of the page. Last four numbers, 1748, 304 Sunny Hill Lane. Owners Keith Rozak, Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer. We have Bailey as the tenant here.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer at City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-01748. That's 304 Sunny Hill Lane. Owner is Keith Rozak. Violations for ordinance 5425 for parking and storage on residential property. Date of violation was April 7th of 2022. The order was given on August 23rd, 2022, that this case would be dismissed upon payment of $1,450. It is the city's recommendation this be reduced to 10%, which would be $145 plus admin cost of $240.94 for a total of $385.94 to be paid on by October 25th of 2023.
Okay, state your name for the hearing.
Bailey Bonilla.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
When we received the letter, we were given like the amount of time to move the boat. My husband automatically called the office and asked them like where we can put the boat, because my dad had a boat there several years ago and we never had a problem with it before then. So we immediately called. They told us that the boat had to be moved where it is now, in front of the gate. It can't be in front of the house. So that's automatically what we did before the deadline.
And you called the officer?
I
and told-
did call, we played phone tag a little bit. I never directly spoke with him.
Is that a good place for the boat now?
Well, it's not there anymore. It was only there for a month and a half, maybe. Now it's not there anymore.
Yeah, after the boat was closed, moved and the case was closed.
Yeah, okay. So what would you ask of the board then today?
To dismiss it because we moved it before the deadline.
So the deadline was, is it 10 days from when the,
Yes, it's 10 days. That's before it's scheduled for a hearing, and then once it's scheduled for a hearing, that's approximately 2 months out
but
before it goes to the hearing officer.
and the fine starts?
The fine starts when it comes before the code board, and in August, looks like it was scheduled in August and went into blanket motion, and the fine started accruing on the 23rd of August.
So then what timeline were you using for when it needed to be done?
I don't have the letter on me, but I believe it was like 20-something days or whatever it was it said on there. I know for a fact that the date was after Father's Day weekend was when it had to be complied by.
So April to June, does that timeline add up?
The hearing recheck was scheduled on July 19th of 2022. Pictures were taken that it was still in non-compliance at that point, so that's when the fines would start running.
And by non-compliance, we mean it was in that position because that position
Correct.
is okay?
This position is not okay. It actually has to be recessed from the structure of the house
Yeah,
in order to be in compliance.
okay.
Not the carport.
Right, so even if so maybe that's the confusion? Even though,
guess so. I
yeah,
guess
even though
that's
you
the
moved it
confusion.
around the side, it still was in violation?
I guess so.
Okay. So this is July. And then it was,
The case was closed out on
August
the
17th.
17th.
okay.
Okay. Board, you have any
So then so it sounds like there was an attempt to try to bring it into compliance based on what she thought was a satisfactory move, and then that still wasn't
Yeah.
in compliance. So she made an effort, it looks like.
Actually, the boat that was in the front that you saw the other picture of is actually a different boat.
Oh, the two.
Yeah, that's the one from
Yeah.
a couple of years
That's like a
ago.
25-foot pro line, and I believe the other one's a Mako.
Oh, okay. I don't know what boats like that.
No, is that that's within the same time frame, like
Mm-hmm.
this year? No, it's the same exact boat.
Same,
It's the same boat, I
So it's
believe.
just covered up with a tarp?
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Make a motion for administrative costs.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Duke, second by Mr. Wainwright. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to only pay the administrative cost of $145.
290.
Well,
240.
I'm sorry. Administrative cost of $240.94 to be paid by October 25th, 2023, or revert back to the original cost,
Okay,
okay?
that's fine.
All right, thank you, have a nice day.
That's it? All right, thank you, guys.
Can I go back? Our next case is on page 5. Second down. Last four numbers, 2971, address 3070 New Tampa Highway, Charter Partners LLC. Jeff Holden and Joey Brownlow is the code enforcement officer.
Code Enforcement Officer Joey Brownlow with the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 15-02971. Address is 3070 New Tampa Highway. Owners Charter Properties LLC. Violation ordinance 4131, section 1, exterior maintenance, and others listed in the agenda. Date of violation was 5/14/2015. The city recommends the fines be reduced to 10% of the original amount, which is $1,860 plus admin fees of $429.79 for a total amount of $2,289.79 to be paid by 10/25/2023 or revert back to original amount.
Okay. State your name for the hearing.
Jeffrey Holden.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
Well, the violations are correct, but I have, I think, 3 cases on this simultaneously that all have added up to over $100,000 in penalties. Based upon, most of that is because there were many years between when they were solved and when the fines kept accruing. And I was not aware of them for years and years. I finally found a buyer for this property, and in August, the title report came back showing these, shocking me with over $100,000 in fines for violations that were from years ago that were since resolved. But I didn't get any notice of that at all. I have lots of different properties. I don't know if the registered agent was wrong or something, but over all these years, I didn't get, to my recollection, any notice at all of this. And I would just make the request that I need that $10,000 difference roughly for these three properties. I need to keep improving properties. I've bought a lot of properties that have a lot of problems, and I'm trying to improve them. And you get into this hamster wheel where all these costs get so high, and I understand the reason for the code violations is to promote people correcting these problems, but not to financially hurt people where they can't fix things in the future. And so I would humbly request to pay just administrative expenses for these three cases, which still total a few $1,000s, I believe, but that having to pay $11,000 or $10,000 or $11,000 or more is really going to hurt my process to try to come back and fix different properties that I have.
Okay. Any questions, board?
The date of violation is 2015. The case was closed in 2016. So I'm just looking for clarification then on, because I see an order from 2016.
Yes, the case was closed in 2016.
Okay.
And you said you never were notified or anything?
No, sir. And the two ones that follow this are larger amounts of money.
Right.
We have the right address on file?
He bought the property in 2002. I remember speaking with someone in 2016, and there is a note, I believe it's
Registered agent.
it was probably the property manager, and explained exactly what needed to be done when I was the officer assigned to that area. Early this morning, I met with Mr. Holden. He recently sold the property and went into contract, and the deed is showing that the property owner, as of September of this year, September 14th, that Lakeland Storage One LLC is now the new owner. So in order for us to do a summary disposition or do anything less than the standard recommendation in reduction, we would need to be in touch with the owner. I hadn't heard from anyone else until this morning and had that conversation with him today. So he's bringing it before the board to see if they would hear him out.
The current owner.
But the current owner isn't here, and we have not been in touch with the current owner yet.
And you've since sold the property, and they bought the property with these
And they bought the property
fines
as is.
attached to
yes.
it.
September 17th, you said?
Right. So my recommendation to Mr. Holden was to get us in touch with the new owner so that we can discuss the history of the property and how to address the fines and what their options are for reduction. But since he's in contract and he has someone here to speak, they can tell you where they are with that.
Yes, may it please the board, Nicholas
State
Troiano.
your name, please, sir.
Nicholas Troiano. I'm an attorney in Lakeland, Florida. I'm appearing as the office that closed the transaction between Mr. Charter Partners and Lakeland Storage One LLC. I am the acting escrow agent to clarify these liens. And I respectfully, if we had come up with a summary disposition where we wouldn't have to appear in front of the board has been recommended by staff to reduce it to 10% plus administrative. Mr. Holden is just merely asking that you reduce it to the administrative. He's prepared to pay those those administrative costs, and we can take care of that right away. We have the escrowed funds to do that. As far as contacting the owner, he's the owner. Once these liens are cleared, by the way, it's LCE 15, 29, 71, 72, and 73.
Yeah, we'll hear him.
Yeah, okay. So at the end of the day, we're prepared to do that, and I think Mr. Holden has a proposal with these other funds to, you know, that we, like I said, we do have the amount to pay the summary disposition amount. But I don't believe we need the present owner to take care of this. This doesn't have anything to do with him right now. This has to do with funds that we're holding in escrow to pay these liens to clear title to the property. I believe the city would be well served in getting this matter resolved because we sold the parcel next door with the, you know, along with Mr. Holden's properties to a new buyer that's going to do something pretty nice for the city, nice in that area for that properties that are there.
But aren't they going to they're going to make those improvements and do that anyway now, right?
Those properties that you see, the improvements, those are going to be demolished. They're going to be gone.
Right. So I'm saying,
but there's going to be a facility put there that for Lakeland Storage. That's what they're going to be doing with this. So, but again, this has to do with clearing a lien for title purposes. It has nothing to do with the present owner.
Attorney Simpson?
I think, well,
I could just clarify, I mean, the staff cannot agree to a summary without all interested parties. The summary disposition document specifically says that you're waiving the right to an appeal, you agree to this stipulated outcome. Without all interested parties signing on to that document, it doesn't really mean anything, because if there is another interested party, they could appeal or they could, you know, call into question the validity of that document. In this particular situation, though, doesn't mean that the board can't adjudicate a reduction based on what you're hearing without that person here. It just means that the staff is not going to agree to a stipulated outcome without that person being involved. I hope that clears it up.
that makes sense.
If I could make one more comment quickly. Just that I have other problems at other properties. And and I have a lot of my problems, I have one lender and I have loans that I pay every month and I've been underwater. All this money I pledge, I'll even put it in escrow, whatever savings, if you're inclined to give it to me, that money is going to go right back into fixing other problems and in the city of Lakeland. And my problem is being in that wheel of just having hundreds of thousands of dollars and even the 10% reduction, the costs still keep me underwater and having difficulty paying for other repairs on other situations. So I pledge that if they do this, I'm happy to put that money into escrow fund to pay for improvements to properties. I'm trying to survive here. You know? And it's been years that these have been building up without me being aware of this.
Yeah, I think that's what concerns me, is that it did go, the fines accrued for such a long time because you were unaware of a property that you own and are responsible for that accrued these fines. And it took a while to get them repaired. Any contact with staff that there's a record of?
I spoke.
Project man. Outside of that one in 2016?
I was the officer assigned to that area. I did speak with Mr.
And
Holt.
probably you talked to the person who then made those changes pretty quickly.
Right. I did speak with him, and the notes where I spoke with him are in the following unsecured building case.
Yeah.
To explain all of the violations on the property.
I think what gives me pause and further reduction is if you do have other properties. Yeah, I mean, this is just the one property, but I'm less inclined to. I think a 10% reduction is appropriate for. Right, for your property that was in violation, I guess is what I'm having trouble understanding how that is not something that you're responsible. Yeah.
When, as the title agent who, we conducted the lien search in August of 2022, and that's when we discovered the 3 lien violations on our lien search. And I have been sworn, so yeah, my testimony is when we informed Mr. Holden of these liens, he was like, what are you talking about? Like,
I think that is my concern.
Yeah. He didn't know anything about them until, I took a look, and it appears that in 15 when these started to accrue, he had a resident agent that is not Mr. Holden. He became resident agent in, I don't know what year, but it was long after 2015. So I'm just telling you what I know from the search from August. When I informed him, he was like stunned. Like, you kidding me? Where did that come from? So, anyway.
I think I'll make a motion to accept the staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff recommendation of $2,289.79 to be paid by October 25th of 2023. Next case below it, case number 2972, 3070 New Tampa Highway, Charter Partners LLC, Joey Brownlow, and Jeff Holden is the person.
Code Enforcement Officer Joey Brownlow with the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 1502972, address of 3070 New Tampa Highway. Owner Charter Partners LLC. Violation ordinance 3371, section 9.02-1, regulations for open, unsecured, unoccupied building. Date of violation is 5/14 of 2025. Order was 10/25 of 26. The case shall be dismissed upon payment of $64,200. The city recommends the fines be reduced to 10% of the original amount, which is $6,420, plus admin fees of $462.43, for a total of $6,882.43 to be paid by 10/25/2023 or revert back to the original amount.
Thank you. State your name for the hearing again.
Jeffrey Holden?
Okay. And are you going to be speaking this time too? Okay. 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 Go ahead.
Well, again, I respect the opinion of the board here. I did speak to Sonny this morning, and I thought, Sonny, that, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but there were others there, that you were inclined to recommend a reduction from this recommendation, but that the challenge was that the timing of this, because we didn't have the new owner present. I talked to him. His name is Jonathan Bergman, by the way, and he's completely in support of a reduction of fines because he thought that that was going to be the case when we still managed to get this thing closed. But if I'm correct, you said, hey, if we can get him, communicate with him, all this is possible, and that delaying this 30 days would allow us to do that. Unfortunately, the delay cannot happen because of this, the escrow agreement doesn't allow for it. But if the intent of you was to work with me and try to give me some breathing room to try to fix these properties, I know the intent of the rules are not to punish people financially so they can't hurt them enough where they can't do anything to fix properties, and in this case here we have over $6,000 here on this one case, and I'm wondering if you waiting for support. He's available. He said I can call him right now on speakerphone, the current owner, who will support that idea you had of an additional reduction, but and now we can't extend it, but wasn't that your intent to consider an additional reduction to me earlier today?
Exactly what you just explained. I asked you to get me in touch with the new owner.
But I can call him right now.
Expound on what Mr. Simpson had explained when it comes to staff signing a recommendation to reduce through stipulation summary disposition, we are limited to who we can do that agreement with. So I did ask to get in touch with the current property owner.
As Mr. Simpson, the city attorney, mentioned, whatever this board agrees to today wouldn't be final unless the property owner joined in that stipulation. Is that correct?
No, what the board decides is final and subject to appeal, just like any other decision they make.
Right, but he's willing to join on and agree, as you were mentioning that we need his cooperation to get that reduction. And I'm saying he was on the phone with me earlier, more than very willing to work with you and work with me to achieve that, and tell you his good plans that he has to try to work ahead with the property.
I mean, the board is under no time constraint. If this something, and I'm just, we're here, next month too. But it require, so that is your time constraint. It sounds like what, Ms. Marshall was trying to broker was,
But I don't see if the intent was to work with me, how is the intent changed in just 2 hours? In other words, are you saying you give the reduction with the approval of the property owner who's verbally said he'd be good with that?
the linchpin is the owner agreeing to sign the summary disposition. You don't sign the summary disposition, the owner does.
Right, and also I think we were talking also about, in that meeting we had this morning, we were also discussing properties that you currently own, as well as the properties here that you sold that are owned by someone else now. So I did say I would work with you on the properties that you currently own that are still in violation once they come into compliance. So that is what I said on 1111 Hodges.
My understanding is that.
State your name, because I had asked.
Oh, Nicholas Troiano, same Nicholas Troiano.
Yeah, we got to do it every case.
Oh, okay. Nicholas Troiano, the escrow agent who closed the deal between Mr. Holden and Lakeland Storage One LLC. My impression or my understanding with regard to summary disposition could be had if it doesn't go in front of a hearing. All I think is being asked of this board is to listen to staff's recommendation, and Mr. Holden has requested that it just be reduced further to the administrative fines, with the idea that, these are prepared to be paid immediately, whatever is the disposition. And at the end of the day, like I said, it really does, I don't see how it involves the new owner as to a hearing that we're having here on these liens, not on anything that has to do with what's going on with the property in the future. This will clear the liens. You'll be able to deal with the new owner just as you always would. You'll always have Mr. Holden and his other Lakeland properties that he says that you have under scrutiny. All I'm asking is, Mr. Brownlow has asked to a 10% reduction, and you did that on the first case. On this case, I'm asking that you just we're asking that you just reduce it to the administrative costs as being something for the board to consider. The facts and the matters of all these cases are identical. They're no different for every single one. And they're sequentially numbered, as you can see. There was nothing that the city had to do, mow lawns or do anything, or remove properties, demolish buildings, remove trash or anything like that. They didn't secure the buildings or anything. So this is just a fine that accrued unknowingly, which has been sworn before you today, that they didn't know about them, but and that's why they're so large. They have nothing to do with the city incurring anything more than their administrative costs. So I ask that the board consider that as something to and get these matters resolved so that we can get this property transferred to the new owner without the lien and move from there.
Will it not do that anyway?
I'm not familiar with the details of the transaction. It'd be a question for them.
The selling of the property is contingent upon these liens?
The selling of the property has occurred.
How much did we sell the property for?
I believe the selling price was somewhere in that range. I really don't recall because we sort of did it at the same time with another property.
My liens for that.
Mr. Holden.
Mr. Holden,
I just need to be able to hear you.
come up to the microphone,
The
please.
problem with this is that 400,000 sounds high, but I have these cross-collateral liens, and on that property, I owed over, I think, 500,000 of cross-collateral, and I had to negotiate and work on this just to even get this closed, and now all this money is pretty much spoken for, so if I end up with between 5 and 10% of that, I'll be, happy to have more money to fuel other things. So it's not, unfortunately, I have a lot of debt on properties, and they're all collateralized together with one lender.
You say collateral, is this like cross-encumbered by, these are not other?
What I'm hearing, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I'm hearing, is that he sold the property for a little over 400,000. There were these liens that they have essentially, with the staff's recommendation that those liens be reduced down, they totaled,
Approximately 11,000.
so with the recommendation of 10%, that amount has been put into escrow, the 10% of the liens out there. Any reduction, and Mr. Troiano is holding that money, which would be 10% of the total amount, and any further reduction beyond that would then go to Mr. Holden. It's being held in escrow right now. If the board reduces it any further, if the board doesn't reduce it, then it goes towards the purchase price. If they do reduce it, then Mr. Holden gets to take it, and he's saying here under oath that he'll apply that money towards improvements to the other properties that he owns. Is that fair enough? Okay.
And in addition, he also mentioned the fact that he wasn't responsible for these liens. So I think he's looking for the owners to pay it.
No, whatever you say today, I have to find a way to pay. I mean,
The violations occurred while he was the owner.
While he was the owner
of the property. But they're also saying that he wasn't aware of it until they did the title search. But the violations, according to the timeline, they were noticed in 2015 and corrected in 2016, but he apparently wasn't aware of the fact that they became liens at some point in time.
Or the violation. You weren't aware of the violations on the property.
I was aware of the violations, but was not aware that there's money accrued and became this giant amount of, whatever, $100,000. No, I had no clue in the world. Otherwise, I would have addressed this, 8 years ago, when it was a small amount of money.
Right, I guess that's what I'm saying, like the letter I think lays out, hey, this is a fine for these violations at this cost until it's in compliance.
Yes, he gets a copy of every order.
Yeah.
And also, as I testified, I did speak with Mr. Holden, and he was aware. Until this recent transaction, I had not heard back from him until this morning, the day of the hearing. So that is the dilemma he's in now.
Yeah.
I did try to call a few days ago.
I still feel the same as I did for the previous case.
I would like to make a motion that we accept the staff's recommendation.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Varian, second by Mr. Wainwright. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff recommendation of $6,882.43 to be paid by October 25th, 2023. Next case is right below it. 2973 is the last four numbers. The address is 3070 New Tampa Highway. Code Enforcement Officer Joey Brownlow. And we have Mr. Jeff Holden and Mr. Troiano.
Code Enforcement Officer Joey Brownlow with the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 15-02973. Address of 3070 New Tampa Highway. Owners Charter Properties LLC. Violation is Ordinance 5425, Section 4.4.1, fence condition. Date of violation was 5/14 of 2015. Order was on 9/27 of 2016. The case shall be dismissed upon payment of $19,600. The city recommends the fines be reduced to 10% of the original amount, which is $1,960, plus admin fees of $429.79, for a total of $2,389.79 to be paid by 10/25/2023 or revert back to original amount.
You have heard the officer. State your name again for the hearing.
Jeffrey Holden?
Nicholas Troiano.
Okay, state your.
Yes, I have in similar situation. The only one more point I want to bring up, Sonny.
Just a moment.
Just say something. If you're both going to speak, you both have to stay up. If you're both going to speak, you can't sit down.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
If you're both going to speak for the case, you both have to stand. Understand you can't sit down.
I guess this comes down to, in my meeting earlier, Sonny, when you had mentioned you were going to consider, or actually you implied that you were going to recommend the board reduce the fine. You now say, a few minutes ago, you said that that was for other properties that I had and not referencing this property, correct?
What I explained to you about this
Right.
property is that I would need to be in touch with the owner. And this conversation also involved another property that is on the agenda at 1111 Hodges that are actively in violation.
I think a few minutes ago, you just mentioned, I believe you mentioned that, that it was for other properties you were referencing and not this one that you were referencing that reduction. But then I realized, why would you need if you weren't referencing this property in the reduction, then why would you have you thought you would needed to get in touch with that individual? I'm just understanding that change in direction from this morning till today. But all I ask once again is maybe they consider, and this is my last attempt and last shot at this third one, and I guess I'm up to dealing whatever the board will give to me here.
Just to clarify, and it kind of has to do with even the last one. This one, I was in touch with Ms. Marshall back in September of 2022 after we closed the transaction. So I did contact her, and I think she'll acknowledge that I did speak to her on behalf of this exact situation. You know, again, this is something that's not uncommon in real estate. You got a closing. There's a lien issue that has to be resolved, and we got the permission of everybody to go ahead and escrow funds to take care of this matter if we could, and attempt to do something to get it reduced from what we could do. So, again, my testimony and Jeff's testimony, I think, holds through all the way through on these, and we ask that the board consider reducing it down to the administrative costs. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other discussion needed?
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff recommendation of $2,389.79 to be paid by October the 25th of 2023. I see we have one more case here, as on page 12. And that is last four numbers 0819, 1111 Hodges Road, number 1, Charter Southern Ventures, LLC, Jeff Holden, and Code Enforcement Officer Alex Gomez.
Alex Gomez, City of Layton Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-00819. The address is 1111 Hodges Road, number 1. The owner's Charter Southern Ventures LLC. Violation of ordinance 3947, chapter 3, section 305.7, windows. Date of violation is 2/28/2022. Orders on 7/8/2022. Respondent shall have until September 6, 2022 for total compliance or a $50 a day fine be imposed. The affidavit of noncompliance was effective 9/7/2022. Photos were taken on 10/18/2022. City recommends a fine of $50 a day be imposed effective 9/7/2022 and run until compliance is met.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard the officer. What do you have to state your name for the hearing again?
Jeffrey Holden,
Okay. What do you have to say concerning this?
I acknowledge the violations, and I hope to get them cured in the next, some of them in the next 7 days, and some of them maybe in as soon as 30 days.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation of $50 per day fine effective 9/7/2022. The next one below it, last four, 0821, 1111 Hodges Road, number 10, Charter Southern Ventures LLC, Alex Gomez, and Mr. Jeff Holden.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-00821. Case numbers 1111 Hodges Road. Number 10, owners Charter Southern Ventures LLC. Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 305.7, windows. Date of violations 2/28/2022. Order on 7/8/2022. Respondent shall have until September 6, 2022 for total compliance or a $50 a day fine be imposed. Affidavit of non-compliance was effective on 9/7/2022. Photos were on 10/18/2022. The city recommends that a fine of $50 a day be imposed effective 9/7/2022 and run until compliance is met.
Okay, state your name for the hearing.
Jeffrey Holden.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
I acknowledge the problems, and we'll get them fixed as soon as possible.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second,
second by Ms. Berryon. Do we have a vote?
yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation of $50 per day fine effective 9/7/2022. Top of page 13.
Sorry.
Okay. 0822-1111 Hodges Road, number 8. Charter Southern Ventures LLC, Alex Gomez, Jeff Holden.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-00822. The address is 1111 Hodges Road. Number 8, the owner's Charter Southern Ventures LLC. The violations, ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 305.3.2, roofs, portions, additions, and sections. The date of violation is 2/28/2022. The order on 7/8/2022, respondent shall have until September 6th for a total compliance or a $50 a day fine be imposed. Affidavit of noncompliance was effective 9/7/2022. Photos were taken on 10/20/2022. The city recommends a fine of $50 a day be imposed effective 9/7/22 and run until compliance is met.
Okay, state your name for the hearing again.
Jeffrey Holden.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
I acknowledge the problems, and we'll fix them as soon as possible.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second,
second by Ms. Berryon. Do we have a vote?
yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation of $50 per day effective 9/7/2022. We have a case on page 18. At the top of the page, it is 022519, last four numbers, 4520 Old Road 37, Jeffrey Holden, Code Enforcement Officer Darian Crowell.
Darren Kroll, Code Enforcement Officer, the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 22-02519, 4520 Old Road 37. The owner is Jeffrey Holden. The violation is Section 86-2, Lakeland Code, lot clearing overgrowth. The date of the violation was May 9th of 2022. The order was issued on July 8th of 2022 that the respondent shall have until July 18th of 2022 for total compliance, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed. Affidavit of noncompliance was effective on August 18th of 2022. Photos taken on October 18th of 2022 show the violation still exists. The city recommends a fine of $50 per day be imposed effective July 19, 2022, and run until compliance is met. And prior to today, I had no contact with the owner of the property.
Okay. State your name for the hearing again.
Jeffrey Holden.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
I mean, that property might have been cleared and mowed in between, but I'm not certain of it. Either way, we'll get it corrected as soon as possible.
Okay. Do we have
Yeah, I'll make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
a motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second,
second by Ms. Berryon. Do we have a vote?
yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation of $50 per day fine effective July 19th of 2022. And I think that's the last case for you that I see. Thank you, sir, and have a nice day. Okay. Our next case is on page 9 at the top of the page. Last four is 2078, 207 Cornelia Avenue, Farm Cut LLC. Randy Abram is the manager. Code Enforcement Officer April Reeves.
April Reeves, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-02078. Address is 207 Cornelia Avenue, owner Farm Cut LLC. Violation is ordinance 5425, section 2.3.2A, prohibited uses. Date of violation was April 19th, 2022. The July 8th order, the case was continued to the October 25th, 2022 Code Enforcement Board. The photos dated on October 24th, 2024 show that the violation still exists. The city recommends that the property come into compliance by November 24th, 2022, or a fine of $50 a day be imposed and run until compliance is met.
Just so you know, there's a typographical error. That's 2023, supposed to be 2022.
Okay. Okay. All right, you have heard the officer. What do you, state your name for the hearing?
Randy Abram.
Okay. What do you have to say concerning this?
Well, what we'll do is stop parking on it by 11/24 is what we'll have to be.
Can you talk a little closer? I'll pull that up a little.
Yeah, as a company that's we've wanted to do the upgrades and do what was asked as far as we had a meeting a while back and you gave me expectations of what to do to make it parking. And we just haven't been able to create the budget to be able to do that. So at this point, by 11/24, I guess we'll stop parking on it, which means to us is just a reduction in employees. So, and that's what we'll do. But what I guess I want to come back around to ask, is there any way we can continue to park on it just as is? And now that we don't have any sand going down the drains and stuff, I do recognize what you guys are requesting to making it an official parking lot, but we just don't have the funds at this time to do so. So as far as Goddard Produce, you know, growth for us is having parking and spaces for employees. So.
So your question is what would bring it into compliance?
Unfortunately, when the property is zoned, this is zoned residential, is that right?
Yes.
So you can't use a residentially zoned property where the principal use of it is just as a parking lot. That's against the zoning code, and the board doesn't have any authority to grant an exception to that code. The only way you can change that is to rezone the property. And so you'd have to make application for that and go through the planning and zoning board and go through that whole process in order to change that.
And we did, I guess, pull a permit per se with a gentleman, Steve Boggs, and that's when I got the list of what needed to be done to make it a commercial parking. Or
So I guess it's not just a zoning change then?
No, no, it's, and what I'm seeing is 150 grand to make it a parking lot, and so, you know.
Yeah, it starts with the zoning change, but then the zoning code, once you get the zoning change, you're gonna have to make improvements to the lot. And per the land development code, you know, whenever you develop property, you have to develop it according to certain rules. And so a parking lot is they're probably gonna have to, you know, make some improvements. It wouldn't be allowed to just be a grass lot like that. But it sounds like he's got all the information he needs for that. And as far as, you know, hopefully you can find another place to park your employees or maybe shuttle them in from somewhere or something.
That's what, and that's all, it's not been fruitful. I've been looking for those outlets, and it's still, you know, our optimal thing was just to be able to park there and on that property, but, so.
So you're saying you're willing to pay the $50 a day fine? Is that what you're saying?
No. We're gonna reduce, we're gonna downsize the company is what we're gonna do.
Okay.
And that's not, we wanted to be able to do what we needed to make that parking, you know, to do all the upgrade, the landscaping, the paving and all that. It's just the company's not there yet monetarily, so. And it's gonna be even harder for us to grow that company if we don't have that parking.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
I can't-
unfortunately, yeah,
I
our
can't-
purview, yeah, it's just the violation.
Only thing the board can do is either give them more time or that, I don't know from the agenda, has there already been a deadline set? It says it was continued, so the
Just says
deadline that's
order
in there is the recommendation for a deadline. November 24 is the recommended deadline. Is that correct?
For
Yes.
compliance, yeah.
Right, I
But it's
believe that.
2022, right? Not
22, yes, sorry.
Right. So there wasn't a finding yet. It was continued because they were working on the concept plan for
Yeah.
review. Now that that's completed, we surpassed that time, and so it's scheduled for hearing again. We're just asking for a finding and to comply by a certain date or $50 per day fine be imposed.
Got it.
And I can't say when we would have a budget either. I would
Yeah.
just, you know, that's our goal, is to make that company.
Right, and we don't know a time frame to work with them.
Yeah.
So we don't have a date to extend it to.
Yeah. But the issue is not the washout. I saw pictures of that, but the issue is prohibited use, using it as a parking lot because it's residential.
Correct.
Right.
I make a motion to accept staff's recommendation till November 24th.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Berrien, second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation of $50 per day fine effective on November the 24th of 2022. So you have until November to try to figure out something, the 24th, before your fine starts.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Our next case is on page 10, at the top of the page. Last four, 5724, 1036 Crestview Avenue, Ishmael Burgos. Liz Burgos is here, and Alex Gomez is the code enforcement officer.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement. Case numbers LCE 21-05724. The address is 1036 Crestview Avenue. The owner is Ishmael Burgess. The violations ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 305.3.1, roof structurally sound and maintained. Date of violations is 10/28/2021. Summary was signed on, the order was written on 4/8/22. Summary disposition. Respondent admitted to the violation and requests additional time to comply. Respondent waives any defense to the violation. Respondent shall have till October 5th, 2022 to comply, or a $30 a day fine may be imposed. The affidavit of noncompliance was on 10/6/2022. Photos were on 10/18/2022. The city recommends that a fine of $50 a day be imposed effective 10/6/2022 and run until compliance is met. There is a demolition order on this roof, just for information on that case. He originally was gonna put a roof on there, on the original case, and they thought it was a garage, the city thought it was a garage when they issued their original permit. Come to find out it was a living quarters, grandma suite, or in-law suite. So the city took back the permit at that point and left the roof unfinished.
Okay. State your names for the hearing.
Les Burgos.
Are you gonna speak, sir? No?
No, it's not.
Okay. You have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
Yes, we purchased like that, so we didn't know anything about all this. So after we requested the permit, then we found out everything what was going on. So we did discuss with the permit office, and they said since it was all that built without any permit, so we were better off demolishing the whole structure. We requested a permit. We had some personal issues, and it got to the point, and then all the hurricane, he was at the hospital, he had to have emergency surgery, so one thing after the other. So we did request it, we do have a permit right now, an extension. So I have a copy here if you want it.
You have
Want to look at it?
a contractor lined up?
Yes, right here.
You can just bring it to Mr. Gomez over here. They'll put it on the screen for us.
And so we want to go ahead and demolish it because just to go ahead and get that headache off us. And that's where we're at right now.
Just looking for a date. So issued on April, so
Full year.
Obviously,
give
we're
you-
not going to wait until April. We're going to do it as soon as possible, we're going to.
Yeah, did they give you a timeline?
Possible. Excuse me?
Did they give you a timeline? Like
For
the contractor for when they would?
They're pretty busy right now with all that's going on, especially.
Storm stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, before December, that's what we were told.
December.
So, yeah, so right now, that's where we're at right now.
The date of violation was a year ago.
Yeah, we invested it. We didn't know anything about that, so everything was purchased and everything to have it fixed as soon as we heard about that. But then it came to a point that's when everything, we realized, that was happening.
Right.
We tried to, to get it, and then at the end, it's like I said, we were told, listen, it's way better just to go ahead and demolish.
Yeah.
And that's what we just go ahead and decided.
Mr. Gomez,
just to-
well, I'll let you get back.
Yeah, like, we purchased like that, and I guess we bought somebody else's headache, and
And you were aware of the issues from the?
We actually have continued the case prior to this, just to try to give time to see what they could do with the property till.
You did it at the hearing?
We did at a hearing, we continued it because of the issues that came up because of the permitting side of it. We were trying to work with them as much as we could. It just got to the point in the process now that I
we're a year in.
had to take it to the code board, let you guys make a decision on this one.
What was the date of purchase?
right before all this, a few months before, I'm not even sure. Yo no sé, no sé. I don't even remember.
Yeah, that's okay.
This is not the only property
Yeah, that's okay.
we have, so.
I mean,
we'll have to go back.
I feel like there's, obviously, if you guys were continuing it as well, there's been movement and progress. It's just trying to figure out what's the best move. So May?
Yes, May 2021.
I mean, if it has to be within this month in November, we'll go, we'll go, we'll just, ¿se puede, Temen?
Think a continuance is appropriate from us here? Anybody?
I think accept his recommendation.
Yeah.
It's not that we just did not want to do it. you know, it's just
Yeah, yeah,
one
yeah.
thing after the
Yeah,
other.
you're just trying to figure out.
We want to get rid of this problem as soon as possible.
Yeah, sure.
But,
What do you think?
I make a motion we accept the staff's recommendation.
Oh, yeah.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Varian, second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation of paying a fine of $30 per day effective October 6th, 2022. I think is that the only one for them? Okay. All right, thank
As
you.
soon as it's done, yeah, get with Mr. Gomez.
All right. Thank you, ma'am, sir. Next case is right below it. 6253 is the last four numbers, 1230 Golconda Road. Donna M. Stark. Daniel Povey is the code enforcement officer, and Laura Valdez is the property manager.
Yes, Laura Valdez in lieu of Donna Stark.
All right. Daniel Povey, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 21-06253. Address is 1230 Golconda Road. Owners are Donna Stark for violation of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 305.2, exterior walls. Date of the violation is 01/24/2022. The order was sent on 07/08/2022. The respondent shall have until September 6, 2022 for total compliance, or a $50 day fine may be imposed. An affidavit of noncompliance was effective on 09/07/2022. Reinspection and photos on 10/20/2022 show that the violation remains. And at this time, the city recommends a $50 per day fine effective 9/7/2022.
You have heard the officer. State your name for the case.
My name is Laura Valdez. I work for Donna Stark. I'm the run as the property manager. In my business, good help is obviously hard to find, keep going. This material that's on the property is called masonite. They stopped making masonite in the mid-'80s. So finding a comparable material that I can overlay and fix these damages with has been a hunt. If the board would like to see, I have presented a material that they believe will be comparable. It has the same wood grain, but Donna, in January, she caught COVID, and then I quit and came back. Yay. I quit like in May, June. I know y'all are laughing. Go ahead. And nothing got done in the little over a month I was done. If there was 10 of me, I wouldn't have code violation 1. This is a 2-story building, so it does present a hazard. I'm ex-DOT construction, so I know how to research materials. Masonite was the world's worst construction equipment ever created. It cannot be found. They do not make it in slats anymore for homes. The closest you can come is to Lowe's or Home Depot, and it's not adequate siding to put on a home as far as my standards are concerned, or anybody. But if the board would like to look at this material I have found, it's called Calcan, and it's Dutch slat material that's in the picture. You can't really tell, but the white part has like a lengthwise wood grain. This is a vinyl siding that it's about 90% matchable to the actual grain that's on the masonite right now that's currently on this home. So it's a matter, and the person that I've rehired as my maintenance guy, one of my maintenance guy has a pacemaker. I can't give him too much strenuous. One has severe bad back problems, worse than me. My current guy works a full-time day job, and when he gets off of work, he comes and works with me at night, and then I have him full-time on the weekends. I apologize for the length of time, but it's just one of those things where This emergency's happened, that emergency's happened. You know, I left for a month. She was sick for 2 weeks. I didn't allow her to come near anybody when she had COVID. I know COVID very well. My brother died of it in December 2020. So I'm working on it. I'm doing the best I can. I'm one old lady doing a job of 10 people. But I just wanted to present to you that if you, like I said, if you're willing to look at this, I have found a comparable material. It's $178. They come in 12-foot sections. The matching that's on the house right there where it's like tiered, this is the most comparable, and I have presented it for review to people I know with the code enforcement. So if you guys would like to look at it, I will get this done. I don't know what I can ask for. I know I probably don't deserve it, but if I can get a 30, 60-day, whatever the board so pleases, if I got to get on a 12-foot ladder, I will do it myself. Here you go. I apologize.
So
I will try to get it done.
it's the front door and then there's something else on the side of the house?
The side of the house, the front by the door, that is vinyl.
Yeah.
But everything, sorry, I used my own pictures. Everything on the side here, all this material, this is a 2-story building. It's all masonite. Like I said, masonite stopped being made probably the mid-'80s for building construction purposes because it was deemed the worst material ever created and put on homes. And it's just like, you know, OSB board when it gets wet, or particle board when it gets wet. It's the sustainability and the durability is not going to be there after so long. And they were discovering this, and a lot of people don't know there was major lawsuits against the masonite companies for building I'm trying to find the intelligent word for it. Durable material to last for a home. So that's what I'm dealing with. A material that's no longer made. You can't find it. And I found a comparable material, but like I said, in my business, the comparable, dependable help is zero and far between.
Well, it sounds like you have a firm grasp of what you need to do and that you have people now to do it, so.
I'm proactive. I'm a bulldog. Like I said, a 32 and a half years state government, road construction, DOT, and, you know, I can't even find plans for, I have to have plans. I'm sorry, I've got bad OCDs and I need to know where every fiber optic line is, the electric line, plumbing, but I can't find schematics for any of my properties anywhere. But this is a hard material to find.
Now that you have.
Excuse me, Mr. Povey, can you clarify that the agenda states there was an order entered in July 8th? Was that a hearing officer order?
He's the new kid on the
Yes,
block.
that was the order from the hearing officer board. That was the deadline that was stated that she had until 9/7/2022 to come into compliance.
Right, and ma'am, were you present at that hearing in July?
Unfortunately, I was not aware of it because I run the properties, I run rental assistance, I run everything. Like I said, I'm one person doing 20 million different things. Had I known about this and there was a board meeting, trust me, I would have been here. And every other violation that has come my way, I have fixed. This is just, I've just been dealt a hand with this material that's non-existent anymore. And competent help.
I just want to clarify where we are in the process for the board, that this case was heard in July and it was determined to be in violation by the city's hearing officer, and a deadline was given, and the deadline was for September 7th. What we're here for today is essentially that an affidavit of non-compliance was filed. That means the code officer went out the day after the deadline and determined it was still in violation. And so what we're here today for is essentially that affidavit of non-compliance. If you're
I understand. I apologize.
the deadline, then I guess the more appropriate way would have been to appeal that hearing officer's order, which the code gives 10 days to do. At this point, the board really isn't addressing the merits of the violation since there's already been a finding. If the board is inclined to adjust the deadline, that's out of the.
Had I been made aware of that meeting, I would have been here. I apologize for that. I would have been here to defend it, and I was not made aware of it. She's bad on sometimes giving me mail. I do the mail. I check her mail. I've got informed delivery. Had I known about it, trust me, I would have been here and been standing right here on that date.
The property was posted
Yeah,
in June,
yeah.
so
I think
the notice was posted on the property.
Yeah. I think she's going to take care of it, and I would just encourage you as soon as you do to let Mr. Povey know.
Yes, I like to keep a working understanding and communication open with any and all of my code enforcement officers. I'm more than willing, and I have proven in the past that I will get things done. It may not be quickly, but I do get things done and accomplished and fixed.
So with that, I'll make a motion to accept the staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation of $50 per day fine, effective 9/7/2022. I think that's the only one we have there. Okay,
Yes.
thank you, ma'am. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You guys have a blessed day, too.
Okay, right below it on page 10, we have case number 6392, last four numbers, 1512 Martin L. King Jr. Avenue, Denmark Aaron Jr. estate of Alicia Denmark Cornelius Magnon, Marion,
Good, hello, good
and
afternoon.
Code Enforcement Officer Adam Gomez.
Adam Gomez, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 21-06392. The address of 1512 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. The owner is the estate of Aaron Denmark Jr. The violations are for Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 302.1, and other sections listed in the agenda. Date of violation was 12/21/2021. An order on 5/6/2022 stating the violation existed. There was a summary signed on 5/6 by Ms. Aronica Thomas, giving 120 days to have this corrected. Photos on 10/24/2022 show the violation still exists. The city recommends a fine of $30 a day be imposed, effective 9/4/2022, and run until compliance is met.
Okay. State your names for the hearing.
Alicia Denmark.
Cornelius Marion.
Okay. You have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
For one, this is a property that's been owned by Aaron Denmark, which passed away. And since then, it's been, I guess, one of the kids that was doing their own thing and had a runner in there we didn't know about. And I guess they didn't want to pay, and when it came down to it, they decided to go in and tear the place up, then get code enforcement involved. And since the owner, the person that's over the estate got a hold of it this year, that's when we started trying to do things. But one thing that they told us to do, if no one's living in there, to board it up, which we did that, and that's where we're at now. We're just asking, I guess, more time, because everything is still in probate, because there was a will, but everything is still in probate and haven't been no final. So we just want time so that the proper owner can get it and do what they wish to do with it.
Will that be you guys?
No.
Oh,
It's not us.
Okay.
It's another sibling, and it just got a rise. So we're hoping that the probate, so that the owner can get it and do what she's supposed to do with it. We're asking for 6 months, hopefully, to the probate to be done, and then the rightful owner could go in and do whatever she needs to be done, or sell it, whatever she wishes. We would try to do some of this stuff, but we can't do all of it.
yeah, that's a lot.
Okay, now, you are not any kin to Mr. Denmark?
I am a daughter,
You are his daughter?
yes, but I'm not the estate.
You're
the
not
person-
part of the estate?
I am on the estate, but not
this property.
the person that's over the estate, the one that's make all the decisions. It's 3 siblings that's supposed to do it, actually 4. One of them is incarcerated. And so we have another property that's kind of holding up the probate. So each sibling's supposed to get a house. And the one sibling that left us basically in the position where we are now, she just left. So now we're taking over and we're trying to get everything right. This one just tackled us, kind of bowled us over.
Now, is this the one in front of Rochelle or down the hill?
This is the one in front of Rochelle.
Okay, okay.
Question, how long has it been in probate?
My dad died in 2018. COVID kind of stumbled us for a couple of years. We have a house in Haines City that is holding us up from getting it. We were trying to separate that one so we can do the other ones, but it's kind of difficult separating different things to different siblings when you have other people that want to do other stuff.
Your request for 6 months is just based on,
Hopefully that we'll be through with the probate by then, and then the rightful owner can make all of these adjustments.
and so if it's been in probate since 2018, what makes you hopeful that 6 months from now it might not be? Is there any, have you talked to anybody or
Yes, we
any
have been
updates?
talking to the attorney Crystal, and she was trying to, so it's a property that's in Haines City that's kind of holding us up. If we can separate that one from the rest of them, then we could get this one more streamlined. The one in Haines City still has the other siblings of my dad on it, and so that one will be separated into like 30 pieces or what the heck ever. So if we can get those a little bit separated, then we will be able to handle this one more adaptly and get it to the proper owner, if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So you think the sibling that is in jail, would that be the reason why you want the extra time? Do he need to sign something?
He does. He need to sign off on making sure that all the properties go in. His mom don't want to really sign off on anything. She want him to handle it.
So just looking at it again, though, there is a summary here.
This is the same situation as the case before. And I don't, if the Madam Clerk can clarify, but when just to explain, I know our procedures are a little bit complicated, so I just try to explain them. And but when you get the notice of violation, if it's not corrected, the first step, it goes to the city's hearing officer, and the hearing officer decides if there's a violation or not and sets a deadline to get it fixed. If it's not fixed by that deadline, the code enforcement officer goes out and looks and sees it's not fixed. They take pictures of it and they file a document that's called an affidavit of noncompliance. Basically, it's the code officer saying that it was not fixed by the deadline. That document then gets set on the agenda and the code board looks at it, and that's what we're at for this particular case, is that document has been filed, and that's what this hearing is today, is essentially the code board deciding whether or not on that date, that deadline date, were you in compliance or not, and that's essentially where we are in the process right now. This case, there was also a summary disposition that was signed. I don't know who signed it. It sounds like there's an estate with lots of people with an interest in this, so I'm not sure if the summary is even really relevant in that situation where you've got a lot of people claiming an interest. So I don't know that I would advise the board to stick with that summary, but we do have an order in place determining a violation and a deadline, and so I would just ask the clerk if, how would the board adjust that if the board wants to? It's outside of our normal process.
Well, the original summary disposition was for 120 days. Aronica Thomas, is she part of the estate? I'm not sure if that was already
Part
asked.
of the estate. She lives in Pensacola, so she is the one that says that is the president over the will and the probate and deals with the attorney. I'm just the sibling that can come here and represent versus the other two that's not.
You're just closer.
So she is the personal representative, the one that signed the summary? Oh, okay.
Right, and our standard recommendation usually for this type of violation is 60 days.
And you did
So
120.
we offered 120 days. I'm not sure what Ms. Thomas's plan was,
Right.
but as to your point, Mr. Wainwright, if she's asking for 6 months, we're gonna be possibly back here again.
Yeah.
I would stand by the recommendation, so that once the property is in compliance, we can revisit the fine once it's in compliance.
That's what I was.
Did you understand that?
Not really.
Okay.
'Cause I know they saying they either bring it up to code or board it up, which that's what was done. We boarded it up.
Right.
But yeah, so the other violations though are gonna continue to, to keep this property in violation. It's not just the secure building now. This is all other stuff.
If I could, Madam Chair, I think what they're saying is that because there's already been an order finding that there is a violation, it doesn't sound like you're disputing that. You agree that the property needs some work.
Yeah.
And it's really the only dispute here is how much time do you get to do that. There's already been an order entered by the city's hearing officer giving you a set amount of time to do it, and that time has already passed. In this hearing today, the board was only supposed to be looking at not that time frame, but whether or not you were in compliance on the day that time frame passed. So what they're saying is rather than them going outside of the normal procedure to extend the deadline, you've already been given a deadline, go ahead, go through the probate, get the property fixed, get the ownership sorted out, keep documentation of everything that you do, and then when you finally do get it fixed, then you can come back in front of the board, and the board can look at the total amount of fines that have accrued at that point, and they can take into consideration the whole complicated situation that you're in with your family and all the things all the hurdles that you had to go through in order to get it fixed, and then they can reduce the amount of the fine based on all that at that time.
And also, I would like to say, it may not be wise for you to wait on that person that's incarcerated to get it done, because it may cost you more money.
So I'll make a motion to then accept the staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation of imposing a fine of $30 per day, effective September the 4th of 2022. And as the attorney said, once you get everything taken care of, come back to see us, and then we can see what we can do about the bill,
We'll
okay?
reach out to Mr. Gomez and let him know.
Let him know when you get everything taken care of, okay? All right, have a nice day. Our next case is at the bottom of page 11. Last 40613, address 1017 North Brunel Parkway. Judge Bennett Judge. Alex Gomez is the code enforcement officer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on my way.
Audio. Yes, my name is Judge Bennett, 1017 and a half Brunel.
Wait just a minute,
We'll let
sir.
Mr. Gomez.
We have to let him.
Sorry.
speak first, okay?
I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-00613. The address is 1017 North Brunel Parkway. The owner is Judge Bennett, violation ordinance 3947, roof portions, addition sections, and also 3947, chapter 3 for windows to be openable. Date of violation is 2/21/2022. On order on 6/10/22. Summary disposition. Respondent admitted to the violation and requests additional time to comply. Respondent waives any defense to the violation. Respondent shall have until September 8, 2022 to comply, or a $30 per day fine be imposed. Affidavit of non-compliance effective 9/9/2022. Photos were 10/18/2022. The city recommends a fine of $30 a day be imposed effective 9/9/2022 and run until compliance is met.
Okay, thank you, sir. State your name now, sir.
Judge Bennett.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
My understanding on the windows, I bolted the windows up because the kids come down the alley and bust the windows out. So I got the boards off of the windows, redone the windows. I don't see no pictures of where the boards are now. That right there, it's going to take a lot of money to do that, and I don't have the money to do it. I'm sick, and I can't do nothing for myself now. I go to dialysis 3 times a week. My back is messed up now, so I just asking the board to, is that the only picture you got there on the windows? Because I fixed the windows. Now, years ago back, I bolted the windows up, and nobody said anything about it. But he came in and seen that spot right there. Then I got wrote up for the windows. It's a fence over there that he thought was mine. I told him that fence belongs to the city, so he took that off of there. But I don't have the money to fix that place up now. So all the charges that is accumulated on it, I wish they could be dropped, because I don't have the money to just keep if it keep accumulating up, I can't pay it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the gentleman behind you with you?
That's my brother.
Okay, is he going to speak for you? He's got his hand up.
He can come up to the podium.
You need to
If
come
you,
to the
can you
mic,
come and
sir.
just say your name, please?
My name is Isaiah Bennett. And this is my
Isaiah?
baby brother.
Isaiah Bennett?
Yes.
Okay.
So we can hear you a little bit there.
He's on dialysis. I take him to dialysis 3 times a week, and he just barely can get out of the truck back in the house. He does not use that little house for anything except storage. That is only a storage. No residential, nothing. He fixed the windows, and right now I'm trying my best to help him to make it from day to day. It would be in his best interest if all of these charges would be dropped and allow him to live the rest of the days that he have left.
So the only thing is as long as the house stays in that condition, it'll still be in violation. So even if today we decided to, I don't know, drop the violations,
There's nobody in that house, period.
it's just, yeah. So these are the violations just for the roof. And if the windows are fixed, like you're saying, apparently, I guess these are all the same case, so it doesn't matter because it'll still be open with the roof
Yes, sir.
in the poor condition that it's in. So
It's just that corner of that roof there, and I haven't found to do a reasonable job for me, which I don't have the money to do it.
right.
So
So our only, again, we have a limited purview here for what we can do, but as soon, even if we decided to, clear, I mean, there's still going to be a violation. So as soon as Mr. Gomez drives by the house again, whenever he does that, he'll see it and then he'll have to cite it again, and it'll just start the process all over. So there's nothing that we can do as long as the violation continues. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying, but I mean, it's going to accumulate the money. The violation charge is going to accumulate.
So then, but what we can do is once it is repaired, however long that takes, you'll come back before the board and then we can assess fines on the back end of that. But as of right now, again, because the violations will be there as soon as we leave, as soon as Mr. Gomez goes by there, he's going to see it and it'll just be another case that it will open up just because nothing's been done to fix it.
Well, there's quite a bit of land between that house there and the alley. So I don't know if he got out the car and went to the house or what.
That, just so clarification, the lot next to him is a city lot.
Yeah.
That I check on a monthly basis for cutting, trash, all those items. I was actually working a fence case right behind that city lot, taking pictures of that when I noticed that lot over there and that damage. So it was actually one case I got called out for. I looked to my left and I saw that, so I went and took pictures. And all the pictures, like I said, are taken from a city lot.
Right. So then it really is, as much as I can say, your primary concern should just be trying to fix it however you can, however quickly you can, and then keeping in touch with Mr. Gomez. And then whenever it is fixed, you can just let him know, and then we can assess on the back end, any fines that have accrued or whatever. And we'll take into account your story, your situation. And
Now, he was saying take the boards off the doors.
He
was saying take the boards off the windows. I took the boards off the windows. I took everything off except in there where the air conditioner is at. And he said take that off, but I don't see taking the board off the air conditioner for somebody to crawl in the air conditioning space. So I left that on there, and I think that he should leave it on there too. Don't bother the board there because, you're inviting the criminals to come in then.
certainly.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll leave that with you and Mr. Gomez to figure out what, so whatever he says you should do is, however he advises you is what I would suggest.
That's the only thing I know to do. I just don't have that $30 a day or whatever, how much it is a day
Certainly.
to do it.
So I would just say whatever you do have put toward, if you want to keep the house, put toward trying to make those repairs. Because again, as soon as he sees it, next time he's around in the neighborhood, he's just going to have to cite it again because it'll still be in poor condition.
Unless there's an option to demolish it.
No, it would cost more to demolish it because it's tax exempted property. It's tax exempted property. Had nobody stayed in it over 20 years. The city has came in and cut the power line from the place. So there's nobody staying there. They hadn't been staying there over 20 years. But I just use it for storage, But
Okay.
the only reason I got it, still up there just for storage.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll make a motion to accept the staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation of imposing a fine of $30 per day effective September 9th of 2022. I think that's the only one.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you,
Can
sir.
I ask a question?
Yes.
Now, you're saying the pose of it is September 22.
Yeah, the fine started on September the 9th.
Okay, now, if I do get some money to repair that corner right there,
You need to call him right away.
Fix it. Yeah. Don't worry about the fine right now. Fix that.
you,
And you come back and see us.
all right.
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll try to do what we can do, but like I say, I'm handicapped right now, and I
Yes,
can't
sir.
do a darn thing. All right.
All right, thank you, sirs. Have a nice day. The next case is on page 13 at the bottom of the page. Last four numbers 0929, address is 1007 West 6th Street. Brenda Brookins, Gary Lance Brookins, Sanford Allen Brookins, William Cheryl Renee Brookins, Code Enforcement Officer Alex Gomez.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-00929. The address is 1007 West 6th Street. The owners are listed in the agenda. Violations for ordinance 3947, chapter 3, section 305, 3.3.1, roofs structural and maintained. The city's recommending that the case be continued to the CEB hearing on 1/24/2023. Ms. Brookins is currently part of Rebuild Florida. They have a demolition permit. We're just waiting on the demolition of the building. And we were going to give her till the November 15th hearing, but we decided to go ahead and go to January 24th, 2023, at the recommendation from the city.
A motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff's recommendation. Our next case is on the top of page 14, 0978. Address is 1240 Sydney Avenue. Marvis Jackson and Mary H. Jackson. Code Enforcement Officer Alex Gomez.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-00978. Address is 124 Sydney Avenue. The owners are Marvis Jackson, Mary H. Jackson. Violations are listed on the agenda. Date of violation are it's ordinance 30947 and the following listed on there. Date of violation is 3/7/2022. On 7/8/2022, summary disposition was signed. Respondents meant to the violation and request additional time to comply. Respondent waives any defense to the violation. Respondent shall have until September 6, 2022 to comply, or $30 per day fine be imposed. The affidavit of noncompliance was effective 9/7/2022. I've got a picture of the exterior of the building on 10/8/2022. The city recommends that the fine $30 a day be imposed effective 9/7/2022 and run until compliance is met.
Okay. State your names for the hearing.
Mary Jackson.
Marvis Jackson.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
We got everything we needed to do on one of them. Is this the one with the yard
Yes, ma'am.
that we signed off on? I thought that was gone. Is that still?
No, that one is closed. This is the interior of the housing.
Okay, yeah, we did do the replacements and the things that he had asked us to do, but we're evicting the people that's in it now, and they won't leave or let us in to call the code enforcement so he can check them out. And the eviction hadn't went through due to the hurricane. It kind of slided back a little bit, so we're still waiting on them to leave so we can call him out to inspect and make sure that we did everything that he asked us to do.
Okay. Do you have a timeline for that? With the eviction order or anything?
No, I call every week because I ain't making no money off of them. I want them gone.
I've been in close contact with Ms. Jackson, Mr. and Mrs. Jackson, and that's how we got the first case closed so quickly.
Right.
But let me say, I did get a chance to get in when you was on vacation.
Yes.
Someone filled in for you, and I got a chance to take care of all of that.
For this
What I'm
case.
thinking of the interior of the house. And I guess nobody else got a chance to get back out to get it. I didn't know no one when I was speaking with you on it. And we haven't, we've been having problems trying to get in and out, but that have been done. We redid the bathroom, tubs and all the stuff, the screens, and some of the other stuff's just not there for period not cleaning. It looked like one thing, but it's just not cleaning, and so. But, this is where we're at with it. But all the things that you required me to do there has been done.
Oh, right there,
Provided
that's the
nothing
new
else is
tub.
done.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is being that the tenant won't let us
Still
in
there,
there.
right.
And without their permission, I can't do an inspection
Yeah.
by the owners.
Yeah.
By the owner giving permission, it's got to be the owner plus the tenant or the
sure.
tenant itself.
Well, seeing as that is still up in the air, I'm going to make a motion to accept staff recommendation, and then as you have been, just stay in contact with Mr. Gomez, and we can come back and assess it on the back end once it's all finished out.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation, which is $30 per day fine effective September the 7th of 2022. And as they stated, once you get that taken care of, make sure you get in contact with Mr. Gomez. And if there's a hardship, you can come back before us and then see what we can do, okay?
Okay, so the $30 is still gonna continue
Yes,
on?
from September the 7th, but.
We'll
soon as-
take into consideration the situation with the tenant when you come
Right.
back and everything's all done.
Yeah.
This
soon-
just keeps you from having to keep coming back before us because you don't have a timeline for sure.
Okay. As soon as you can get them out of there, get them home to Mr. Gomez.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a nice day. Thank you. Uh-huh.
Someone else?
No, I just want to make sure I'm not next so I can go talk to him.
Don't leave yet. I think Mr. Gomez wants to talk to you before you take off.
I'll meet you out there in a minute. Okay.
He might have a case. He's just sticking around. Just make sure.
Was there another one for them?
No, he's just making sure he's not next.
He's not up.
Oh, okay. All right, the next case is on page 17. Second down, 2293, address is 1524 Banks Place, Shane Mark Childress? Childress. Michael Childress, and Darren Crowell is the code enforcement officer.
Darren Kroll, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 22-02293. The address is 1524 Banks Place. The owner is Shane Childress. The violation is ordinance 4134, Section 1, derelict vehicle. The date of the violation was April 28th of 2022. There was an order on August 5th of 2022 that the respondent shall have until August 15th of 2022 for total compliance, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed. The affidavit of noncompliance was effective on August 18th of 2022. Photo taken on October 18th of 2022 shows that the violation still exists. The city recommends a fine of $50 per day be imposed effective August 16th of 2022 and run until compliance is met. I have been in contact with the tenant since my first conversation with him was on May 3rd of this year, where he requested a 30-day extent, basically give him 30 days to get the property into compliance before I filed the motion for hearing. And the inspection on 6/30 of 2022, he put up the gate, and I didn't hear from him until just a few weeks ago, again, since May.
Thank you. State your name for the hearing, sir.
My name is Michael Childress.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
Well, this was the deal. I got paperwork from him through the mail, and he put these issues to my attention. And so I tried to get everything I could. There was two other vehicles that were in the front yard, and so I scrapped both of those. And this last vehicle was in there now, and it just got removed today. So we did that this morning. It's gone. And so I understand that you guys had the issue of, like he's been telling everybody, that you have the issue of your timeline and everything. But whenever I left on a fishing trip, a commercial fishing trip. I was told it was going to be 2 months. Fish didn't come in, so we were wound up there for 4 months. So my fault on the delay, I understand. But now that I've got back, I didn't know all this was going on, and I get up to the door when I come home, and all these papers are on the door and stuff. So I see that, and I try to get situation handled. I came home with 2 broken ribs, and I'm not trying to play poor or anything, but I had to get guys to help me and pay them to come do what I've got done so far. So I need just a little bit more time. I've got some pictures today on my phone. I don't know how far I can get them to you, but I have them on my phone that show all the stuff from the far side of the yard and this side of the yard. So everything's in the mix. I've got the whole front pile ready to be taken away by the city, and I've hauled off a bunch of brick that were back there whenever we bought the place. So I mean, just to let you know, I'm not trying to be delinquent on this, but I've been doing stuff, as best I can. I found out a month ago about this, and so I'm trying to get back to work and trying to have this on top of this. Plus the storm stuff fell all on our property. I'm just hoping that I can get just a little bit more time, and then
I don't know what I'm going to do as far as the $50 a day goes back as far as August, something like that.
Yeah, August 16th.
Yeah, and so I'm hoping to ask the board if I can just get a little bit more time to finish this. This is, twice what I thought it was whenever I left. I came home and I don't even see any pictures of the other side, but my neighbor had come home and when I was gone and cut a bunch of the brush back, trees and stuff back on the far side of the house where I thought that's what, the violation was about. And I don't see any pictures of that here, but it looks totally different than this now.
That's a different case.
Okay, yeah. So this is just for the derelict vehicle?
Yeah, okay, the derelict vehicle is now gone and got removed this morning. And I'm just hoping to, just understand that me being time-wise, I was gone, and as soon as I came back, I called him about it, to try to talk to him about it and stuff, and it's been tough, trying to get that vehicle out of there. That's my...
Sure.
So you say you moved it this morning, did you call him and tell him?
No, I just took pictures of it, though. I mean, I took pictures of where it was at.
Yeah.
She can, if you
Yeah.
pass it over, they can show the pictures.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Real quick.
Camera.
Mr. Kroll, you said your last contact was made, but have you seen progress like he's talking about on the property in your Even Drive?
Yes, there was another case with trailers, and he did remove two of the derelict vehicles. So there has been some progress made.
I think I'm inclined to continue if it...
Well, for this case, if this is only for derelict vehicles,
Yeah.
if he's saying he removed it, if you were to impose the fine today, give Darren time to get out there, we can close to dismiss it with no fine.
Oh, okay.
So,
Can you change the...
we can change that with our affidavit of compliance.
Okay.
But if not,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't have to come revisit this again.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to change the recommendation, that's fine. Oh. There we go. No vehicle.
That's where the vehicle was parked next to the house.
Got it.
So the vehicle, looks like the vehicle has been moved.
So did you...
But he would have to re-inspect the property because it's not specific to one vehicle. The ordinance applies to any derelict vehicle that may be on the property.
Does that make sense?
There's no other vehicle on the property.
Where did you put the vehicle that was cited?
I took it to the shop to get fixed. It's got a transmission issue.
That is the vehicle that was there.
Right, behind the fence. Ms. Marshall, do you want to say that again?
Officer Crowell would have to come back out and inspect the property.
Oh, yeah.
If it's in compliance by tomorrow, or Wednesday, the end of business tomorrow, he can file an affidavit of compliance to dismiss the fine. However, if there are any other derelict vehicles on the property, then the ordinance would not, it wouldn't meet compliance for the ordinance.
Okay.
And then if the board decides to impose the fine, it would accrue until compliant.
I understand.
So then what would we need to do for this case? What order?
The board has both options. I mean, if the board can look at the evidence and make a decision to dismiss the case, or the board can follow the recommendation of the code enforcement manager to have them go out to the property and verify.
Yeah.
But that it's the discretion of the board to decide between the two options.
I think I like that option. Just what should I say?
Accept that recommendation, because we
that?
can, yes, that's part of our normal process.
Okay.
So if we go out the very next day, we still can file that type of affidavit of compliance.
So then I'll make a motion to accept the new staff recommendation to dismiss a no fine upon further inspection.
I think the staff recommendation is to impose the fine.
Mm-hmm.
And what she's saying is
got it.
that when they go out to confirm tomorrow and they see that it's in compliance, then they'll file a new affidavit of compliance and they'll adjust the date on that, and the result will be
To
that
dismiss
there's
it.
no fine.
Right, dismiss
But
the
the
fine.
difference being that
Today we can
they
do it with
confirm it as opposed to you accepting the cell phone pictures today.
Yes,
So that's
yes.
what I make a motion for.
Accepting the cell phone.
Sure.
photo.
It would be staff recommendation.
Cool. That's the one.
Second.
Would you- okay. You said you recommend that.
Just say staff
Words.
recommendations.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation
Yes.
that
That we
after
would
being,
have,
after being,
it would be to impose the fine,
to impose the fine.
but to explain how our process works, within the next 24 hours, we can still file an affidavit of compliance to dismiss the fine if what he is saying is
It's not-
correct.
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. That's what she said.
Yep.
I like it.
Can that be done just like that, just
I know.
what she said? I need to say some more words.
As long as Tammy's got it.
Yeah, I think if the staff makes a recommendation
Yeah.
and Tammy's clear on
Understands
what
what's
it
going on.
is,
Yeah.
and you say adopt the staff recommendation.
Adopt the
then I
staff
think we're all
recommendation.
good.
She understands.
She got it.
As long as Tammy understands.
As long as Tammy gets it,
the
yeah.
board, then I think we're good.
Cause I made them switch, say all
Me
the
too.
words around.
So yeah, sorry about that. I made that problem more complicated than it needed to be.
Okay, so sir, did you understand that?
I think so.
Okay, so he's gonna look at it and then it'll be taking care of that case, but we have a couple more for you,
Now,
okay?
I'm still gonna have the $50 a day thing going on?
As long as there's not a derelict vehicle there when he inspects.
Okay.
As long as that's not there, that one will drop off.
Okay.
Okay, the next case is right below it. It is 2295 1524 Banks Place. Childress Shane Mark, Darren Crow is the code enforcement officer.
Darren Kroll, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 22-02295. The address is 1524 Banks Place. The owner of the property is Shane Childress. The violation is ordinance 5425, section 4.4.1, fence condition. The date of the violation was April 28th of 2022. There was an order on August 5th of 2022 that the respondent shall have until September 4th of 2022 for total compliance, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed. The affidavit of noncompliance was effective on September 7th, 2022. Photos taken on October 18th of 2022 shows that the violation still exists. The city recommends a fine of $50 per day be imposed effective September 5th, 2022, and run until compliance is met. And as before, I have spoken with Mr. Childress. So,
Okay, Mr., state your name for the hearing.
Michael Childress.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
On this particular issue with the fence, I had all these fence panels stacked up in the yard, and we were gonna go around and do the fence. And I had them positioned like on top of each other in the yard. My neighbor went over here and took a screw gun and put these two panels up his own self. And I understand, it's on my property and that, and bottom line, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be removing every bit of this fence. There's gonna be no fence there.
That's what you, yeah.
And so that's my issue, and I'm close to getting everything done. We've been working all this week on this. I mean, like during the day, I got helpers, and ribs are better, you know what I mean? It's been happening. But as far as me, getting home and jumping all over this, I mean, it takes a long time to get all this stuff in your yard, and a long time to get it out. So I'm trying hard. And but the fence there is exactly like it says. I see it looks terrible, in the picture. So.
Okay.
But that's all going to be removed, no more of that fence at all.
Okay. So I'll make a staff's recommendation, or make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation of imposing a fine of $50 per day effective September the 5th of 2022. Right below it is the case 2299, 1524 Banks Place, Shane Childress, and Code Enforcement Officer Darren Crowell.
Darren Kroll, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 22-02299. The address is 1524 Banks Place. The owner is Shane Childress. The violation is ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, care of premises, open storage and junk. The date of the violation was April 28th of 2022. There was an order on August 5th of 2022. The respondent shall have until August 15th of 2022 for total compliance, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed. An affidavit of noncompliance was filed on August 18th of 2022. Photos taken on October 18th of 2022 show the violation still exists. The city recommends a fine of $50 per day be imposed effective August 16th of 2022 and run until compliance is met.
Thank you. State your name again for the hearing.
Michael Childress.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What is you have to say, sir?
Well, on the other side of the house, I've got more pictures to show, but all that stuff in this shot right here is completely gone. Everything's back. There's nothing back there except for just one of the little concrete tables that we have back there. And so I've got this picture just to show.
Camera.
Just that one, Mr. Kroll, you're more familiar with the,
It's kind of close up, but that looks, it possibly is the backyard. I don't have the, can't see it full.
The side yard, the alley's right there. The alley's.
The one on the alley, the side yard, okay. So it's supposed to be, I would probably guess this picture that's up, that I can see that it's probably supposed to be it.
All the tires and the tarps and all that.
Okay.
That's all gone.
Okay.
so, Ms. Marshall, can we do something similar? Just impose the fine and upon reinspection?
Well, it depends on how much time he needs. If typically,
Well, he's saying it's gone.
is it gone?
It's gone from the side yard, but what I have is in the front yard as far as like to be hauled off.
Oh, is that acceptable?
So if the property is not completely in compliance, we can't close the
So if it's on the curb for pickup, it's still not in compliance?
Right, we can't close the
Yeah,
case.
yeah.
Of course, he's close to compliance, but until it's absolutely removed from the property.
Yes, I would request just a little bit longer. If you can give me, I don't know, 2 weeks total to get everything completely, because there's a lot of stuff around the very back.
I would stand by the standard, the staff recommendation, and upon compliance, get with Darren. He can work with you on the fine amount. If it is not in compliance, and the fine begins.
Yes.
Okay.
So how much time can you give?
Until we can verify that it's in compliance.
I think what she's suggesting and what I'm probably going to make a motion for is to accept the staff recommendation, and then you just stay in touch with Mr. Kroll. As soon as that stuff is taken care of, contact him, and then he comes back and we can assess the fines, or maybe even work with him to figure out what is assessed on the violations.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Okay. So that's my motion to accept staff recommendation.
Second,
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. And do we have a vote?
yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation of $50 per day fine effective 8/16 of 2022. And we have one more on top of page 18. Last four is 2519, address 4520 Old Road 20s. Old Road. No, that's not
No,
it.
you did that one already.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I think that's it then. The next one is on page, thank you, sir, have a nice day. The next one is on page 25, second down. 2702, last four numbers, 828 North Scott Avenue, Mercedes Figueredo and Junior Hernandez, and Code Enforcement Officer Angela Kaiser.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer of the City of Lakeland. Case numbers PER 22-02702, address is 828 North Scott Avenue. Owners are listed as Mercedes Corrales Figueredo. Violations of Florida Building Code Section 105.1 for permit required and Section 105.1 for fence permit required. Date of the violations, May 16th, 2022. With the August 5th, 2022 order being that the respondent shall have until September 4th, 2022 for total compliance, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed. The affidavit of noncompliance was effective September 6, 2022. Pictures taken yesterday's date of October 24th, 2022 show work that has been done. At this time, there still have not been permits issued. At this time, the city would recommend imposing a fine of $50 per day effective September 5th, 2022 until compliance is met.
Okay. State your name for the hearing.
My name is Carlos Santana.
Okay. Are you the only one going to speak?
I'm going to speak for them because they don't speak English, and I am the contractor they're hiring to bring the house in compliance.
You are the contractor?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a general contractor, or builder contractor. And I spoke to Ms. Kaiser. I've applied already to get the house in compliance. I applied for a permit, and they were not aware of this meeting here today because they've been receiving the mail, but Mrs. Figueroa or Mrs. Corrales, she's been thrown away thinking it's junk mail. She doesn't speak English nor read English. And so Mrs. Kaiser was kind enough to send me this documentation, and I found out that they had this open hearing today. That's why I brought them here. What I'm asking for is to give me a little more time since they just hired me. I've applied for the permit, and it's going to take some time to get a permit. It takes about, I don't know, a month or two, depending on what the city does. I do have the copy of the application for the permit. I also have an engineering blueprint already made, so I'm working as fast as I can. But I was asking not to impose the fine because they were not aware of it, and that's what I'm here for.
What are the permits for? I see fence permit, is that it? Is that a building?
No, there are no permits. That's probably a posting for a hearing that's.
Oh, no, sorry, I'm saying the violation is for fence permit required and then other.
Then building permits, that would include broad spectrum. They redid the apron, the sidewalks, they redid the porch, they redid mechanical, electrical, what else? Basically, just about everything they could. It was a complete gut and redo.
Without a permit?
Without a permit.
Okay.
Based on pictures, it's a beautiful job.
It does look great.
But there's been no interior reinspection from building inspection. There's nothing that shows that it was done to comply with current building codes.
Right.
Okay.
Just for the record, because the agenda specifically references fence permit, can we see the notice of violation? Okay, thank you.
So anytime we have a scenario that involves work without a permit, that's the way we term it, they're cited under permits required. So it's gonna include a whole scope of work that require permits.
So just to reiterate, this case was opened May 16th, 2022. And that's why the city is now recommending to go ahead and impose the fine.
And the reason they didn't know about it is because Ms. Corrales was throwing away the citations or the letters that we're receiving. The only way I found out is because Ms. Kaiser was kind enough to send me the documentation. I read through it, and I saw they had this hearing here today. So I mentioned it to him, and he also has something about $121,000 on that fine, on that property they just bought, that we're gonna be working on that too, because he didn't even know that he had that. And I think we spoke to Ms. Kaiser about that, and we're gonna try to get that dropped too, because he had no idea. And so
That's a different,
I think it's the same, it's a different case, but it's the same thing that's leading me to investigate what was happening, this whole thing altogether. Because that case was for the house it was a $50 fine per day for the house being not up to date or ugly or whatever. But as you can see the pictures, the house is perfectly fine. So they should have stopped that right away since May 2022. But they kept finding it.
well, I think it's still, if it's not permitted, it keeps it in violation. I don't know if that's.
Well, the permit's a different violation.
No, with the housing case, until they contact us and have us do a reinspection on the violations that were cited, the case continues to run fines, and they have not had us in to do that kind of inspection. So I connected he and Alex today so that they can schedule an inspection one day this week,
Okay.
so that they can get that part done. But that's a separate housing case.
Got it.
And then Alex can work with them on reductions to those fines after that one has been corrected. What I can also add is that since their contractor called me, and that's been within the last 2 weeks, I would say, week and a half, 2 weeks, somewhere in there.
4 or 5 days ago.
Okay, so it's been within a week now.
Yeah, quick.
Okay, so within a week, he's gotten the information. I've sent him an email that gave him both of the active cases. He's gotten them up to speed because to my knowledge, we've had not real contact with the owners, have we?
During the process of.
Come here and introduce yourself.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement. During the process of them redoing the house, I was able to actually see guys that were out there, and every time I asked them, they said they didn't know anything. We actually opened the case when I got the call to come in and do a inspection of the house. And then we noticed everything that was done, that's where the pictures came from.
Yeah.
So that's how this whole case started up, is that they called me to do an inspection on the case that's still open,
Right, yeah,
taking
got it.
fines,
Yeah.
and then this case opened up in that area.
Can either of you confirm that the permit was applied for, and if there's comments back, what is the city waiting to see to issue the permit?
I think you just applied for the permit, right?
I just applied for it today, and I got an email saying that I have to upload the
Yeah.
print, which, yeah. I have a copy if you want. And,
It just shows received.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, I just applied today.
So I think the only thing or one of the things that we'd like to see is just, a timeline or whatever before we do a continuance or anything like that. And I think that it's still such an open-ended, project as far as like you having the permits approved and then, comments back and whatever else. So because it might still take some time, I think I'm gonna make a motion to accept the staff's recommendation, and then you just keep in contact with Ms. Kaiser for this case. And then,
So you're saying that the $50 per day will go in effect even though I'm applying for the permit?
yeah, because it's still.
While the permit is, the
Yeah,
city's
but
taking
we
time.
can assess fines on the back end once all the work is done, but I don't know how to set a time frame for what we don't even know how long it's gonna take. So it could just be a lot of back and forth. This way, it's done, you focus on the work and returning the notes and comments back for permits, and then once it's all the way done, reach out to Ms. Kaiser, she closes the case, and then we can assess fines on the back end, keeping in mind that you're diligently working on it and, doing good work.
Okay.
That's my motion.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff's recommendation to impose a $50 per day fine effective September 5th of 2022. So make sure you get with Ms. Kaiser when everything is taken care of and you have the opportunity to come back before us, okay?
Okay.
All right, have a nice day. The next case is right below it. It's last 4/29/80. The address is 316 West Hancock Street. Greta Louise Green, John David Green, Code Enforcement Officer Angela Kaiser.
That was me too. Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer of the City of Lakeland, case number PER 22-02980, address 316 West Hancock Street. Owners listed as Greta Louise Green and John David Green. Violations of Florida Building Code Section 105.1 for fence permit. Date of the violations, May 23rd, 2022, with the August 5th, 2022 order being that the respondent shall have until September 4th, 2022 for total compliance, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed. The affidavit of noncompliance was effective September 6, 2022. Pictures dated October 20th, 2022 show that violations remain. At this time, the city would ask to impose a fine of $50 per day effective September 5th, 2022, and run until the property is brought into compliance.
Okay. State your name for the hearing.
Yes, John Green.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
Yeah, so back in, I guess it was around May, April, May, so this is our first property that my wife and I have owned. It had a chain link fence up there in the back, and then also along the side property, there's another house next to us that's been under construction, kind of in a rough state. So we were kind of in a hurry. We said we really want to get a fence up in the back alleyway. There's a lot of foot traffic back there, and so we put up a wood fence in the back, put up a wood fence along the side. So fast forward, in hindsight, it's like, I guess it is common sense, like we probably should have applied for a permit. Honestly wasn't thinking about it. I think because we were replacing a fence that was there already. Anyway, so we actually in the mail, so I know somebody that works at our previous address, which we lived on a college campus for my employment, and thankfully knew somebody. They had forwarded us some mail. They didn't have to, but they did, just because I know them, and there was some mail from the city of Lakeland, also some other mail that was important. And so we opened up probably the fourth or fifth letter that we had received. To our surprise, that we had a hearing, and so we ended up logging into, I think, our account online and looking, and sure enough, all the previous letters had gone to our previous address. For some reason, had gone to 1000 Longfellow Boulevard. That should be on the history there. I don't know what the history online is. Also, we had been talking with Mr. Povey as well. So I don't know. Yeah, we had been in conversation, I think, with you. So I don't know if that matters or not. But anyway, so as soon as we saw that, we immediately reached out right away when we got the first letter in our mail at 316 West Hancock. So that's where we're living. Have no idea why it went to 1000 Longfellow Boulevard. I really don't. Immediately we reached out, found out what we needed to do. I actually showed up on whatever day, the day before Hurricane Ian was gonna be here. So showed up, and that would have been our first hearing since we had gotten that letter. And of course it was canceled. So this is the next one. We actually have been in contact with the Miss Foster, I believe, I think she works for the city, or she works for our neighborhood, but yes, and have since filed a permit for the fence. Now, is there a difference between their permitting and the city's permitting? I don't know if there's confusion there or not, but
So there is a historic preservation review.
So that's different.
That is separate.
Okay.
Before you are issued a permit.
Gotcha. So we would still need to apply for a permit through the city then, outside of the historic district.
Both of those are part of the city.
Okay.
With planning and zoning, and then the building division to actually get the fence permit, but it has to be approved first through historic review.
Right. Yeah. So again, just probably drop the ball on that end as far as putting up the fence. All that to say, we've been moving towards making things right since we've gotten that letter. Again, I don't know why that mail went to 1000 Longfellow Boulevard, and it should have. When we looked it up on the city of Lakeland's like history, your like it's all there as far as where the mail was sent, and it was returned to sender. Mail was sent, returned to sender. And then thankfully, like I said, somebody at the university that knows me finally forwarded that mail, and then we got it. So we're wanting to make things right and do what we need to do, hoping for some lenience just for the fact that we did not receive that first notice until see if the date's on here. We've gotten this. And again, this is after it was forwarded. So this wouldn't have even been the date that we received it in the mail. Probably should have saved that envelope. So yeah, that's where we're at.
I think what we can do is just go with the staff recommendation and then trust that once the Historic Preservation Board is done with their review and permits have been approved, then you can square up with Ms. Kaiser and we can
Okay.
go from there.
Wonderful.
I'll
So
make
we'll
a
just come back around after that.
I'll make a motion to accept the staff recommendation.
All right, great.
Motion by.
Do you live at 316?
We do, yeah. We've lived there since last June.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff's recommendation of $50 per day fine effective September the 5th of 2022.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Here.
Our next case is on the top of page 26. Last four, 3344. Address is 841 Johnson Avenue. Melissa K. McIntosh. Sean McDonough and Angela Kaiser is the code enforcement officer.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer of the City of Lakeland, case number PER 22-03344, address is 841 Johnson Avenue. Owners listed as Melissa K. McIntosh. Violations of Florida Building Code Section 105.1 for permit required. Date of the violations, June 2nd, 2022, with the August 5th, 2022 order being that the respondent shall have until October 4th, 2022 for total compliance, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed. The affidavit of noncompliance was effective October 6, 2022. Pictures taken October 21st, 2022 show that work has been done on that back structure. Changes that needed approvals and that kind of thing were made, and they have not been corrected back. This case was initially cited, I believe, as a repeat violation, though the fines were not imposed immediately, as the hearing officer wanted to give them additional time to get the correct approvals done and make the correct changes. At this time, the city would like to ask to impose a fine of $50 per day effective October 5th, 2022, and run until the property is brought into compliance.
Okay. State your name for the hearing.
Not Melissa McIntosh. My name is Sean McDonough, and I'm just representing Melissa as her contractor and friend, and we have spoken to the officer and totally understand this is a continuing violation that was should have been handled a little quicker, and now that we are handling it. A little bit of the hang up, just to give you some backstory, is we came before this board 2 months ago. 1 month was skipped, I guess, with a hurricane, but 2 months ago, and initially said that we're trying to, bring this to compliance. So what was at question was, is that allowed? The city staff, Emily, and the historic board, and obviously code enforcement have been really helpful in getting us to this point, to where we know now we can indeed tentatively, as long as we do some other changes that we have to go to another hearing for, but we should be able to use this space as an accessory dwelling unit, which is what the owner's intent is. She just should have gotten a permit to do that in the beginning. So we realized we need to pay a fine a little bit. Obviously, we're going to work quickly at this and come back to you quickly to tell you that it's done, complete, and hopefully everyone's happy, and that we can look for that reduction that's been so popular today.
I'll make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation of $50 per day fine effective October 5th of 2022. So,
Perfect. Thank you so much.
thank you. Have a nice day. Our next case is on page 27, 2 down. Address is 4941 Liberty Lane, last four is 2804. Name is Nadia Fontanez, the estate of. Alan Proano is the new owner, and our code enforcement officer is Daniel Sheets.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 18-02804, that's 4941 Liberty Lane. The owner is Nadia Fontes. Violation is for 86-2 for lot clearing and overgrowth. Date of violation was from May 1st, 2018. The order was given in September 25th of 2018 that they would pay a $50 fine effective August 21st of 2018. Fines totaling $73,500 for 1,470 days of noncompliance. Affidavit of compliance was filed August 30th, 2022. It is the city's recommendation that this be reduced to a 10% fine with admin costs, which is 10% is $7,350. Admin is $779.50 for a total of $8,129.50, and that's to be paid by August 25th of 2023.
October, you said August.
Oh, I'm sorry, October, not August.
Okay. All right, state your name for the hearing.
Alan Proano.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
So we had just recently purchased the property back in August, or actually in May, I believe, or late June. So we took in as new ownership, understanding the pre-existing issues that it has had. So our goal was to get in touch with the officers and the city and see how we could best remediate, take all the issues taken care of, and hopefully reduce it down as much as possible. So that's our goal.
I'll make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation of $8,129.50 to be paid by October the 25th of 2023. Okay, do you have it?
There's another one.
That's it. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Did you understand that?
Yeah, I did. I think we have several cases here that for today.
There would be enough.
There's multiple.
Okay. I don't see.
Same address?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir,
all under the
49,
same address.
Page 28.
Page
Bottom.
20?
Bottom of 28.
28, okay. All right, 9289, last four numbers, address 4941 Liberty Lane?
That's correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 19-09289. That's 4941 Liberty Lane. The owner is Nadia Fontes. Violation for 3947 for care of premises. Date of violation was December 31st of 2019. The order was given on October 27th of 2020 that the respondent would pay $50 a day effective October 27th of 2020. The file of affidavit of compliance was filed on August 30th of 2022 for fines totaling $33,600 for 672 days of noncompliance. It is the city's recommendation that this be reduced to a 10% plus admin cost. 10% would be $3,360. Admin costs of $616.30 for a total of $3,976.30 to be paid by October 25th of 2023.
Okay, state your name for the hearing.
Alan Proano.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say, sir?
Yeah, so again, it's all on the same property. Us purchasing it here recently, we're hoping to just remediate it the best we can. We kind of just inherited all the issues, so we took care of the tenants, and we're looking to just get this behind us.
I'll make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second,
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation of $3,976.30 if paid by October 25th of 2023. Okay, is that the last one? Because it's not marked.
Oh, that's right.
No, I think that was it. There was only 2 on that case.
It's two, okay.
That's it.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day. Okay. The next case is on page 28, 306 West 10th Street. Last 4 numbers is 5641. Colette Tulosh and Craig Shelley Ann Tulosh is the wife, it says here. Alex Gomez.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland, case number is LCE 19-05641. Address is 306 West 10th Street. Owners Colette Tullock and Craig Tullock. Violations ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307, care of premises, open storage and junk. Date of violation 7/30/2019. Order on 12/17/2019. The respondent shall pay $50 per day effective November 19th, 2019, until compliance is met. Fine totals were $51,400 for 1,028 days of noncompliance. The affidavit of compliance was effective as of 9/12/2022. It's the city's recommendation that the fine be reduced to 10%, which is $5,140, plus administrative cost of $732.84, for a total of $5,872.84, to be paid by 10/25/2023 or revert back to the original amount.
Okay. State your name for the hearing.
Shalane Talosh.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
Okay. We don't live at this property right here. We live in Harmony Hills, and I became aware, my brother-in-law live at that property, but he hasn't been giving us the mail. So I became aware of this situation when I went online to do some other business, and I was like to my husband, do you know that there's a lien on 306? And he was, lien for what? And then we head straight down to the, what's the name? To find out, and then they gave us the code enforcement officer name, phone numbers, and I get in contact with him at the same time. And my husband, myself, we fixed that problem right away. So being not aware of the situation, I would like to ask if we could just pay the administrative fees, because we weren't aware of that situation. They haven't been bringing the mail to us. We haven't been receiving any mail at all until I changed the address recently on there to let those mail come to my present address.
As soon as she contacted me,
yes, we fixed it.
They got it done within a day or so. So once I explained to her that her address on the deed showed that address, and that's why all the mail's going to that address, which is the process that we go through. So
People
was done
live
as
there
quick-
now?
Yes,
But you're
they
not.
live there now. Yes, they're still there. It's my brother-in-law, and they're still there. And I don't know, they just haven't been, I don't know why they be like that. They haven't been giving us the mail and stuff. They're saying that, oh, they haven't been receiving. I said, oh, yes, you must have been receiving the mail.
So then, the address you have on file is still that property though?
No, we got mail. We
Oh.
got this letter, we got it at my address at 904 Harmony
Oh,
Hills
okay.
Loop. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've called to change that.
Okay.
I made the changes.
I just want to verify, who did you change your address with? Was it with Polk County Property Appraiser's Office?
I called.
Because.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And when did you do that?
It was, because I got this mail.
It was September.
Yes.
So you're referring to her contacting our office? Okay, so The mailing address with Polk County Property Appraiser's Office is where we pull our mailing information for properties. So if you want mail, if you own other properties within the city and you want mail to come to where you live,
ma'am.
you need to change it with them.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, because currently it's showing 306 West 10th Street. That's why it wasn't coming to the address
Okay.
where you live,
Okay,
okay?
okay, thank you.
So that's the
You're welcome.
property appraiser,
Yes, sir.
Polk County property appraiser.
So how many days did she take to get the work done, Alex?
It was 1,028 days of noncompliance. Are you talking about from the time she contacted me to the time?
You said once she had got.
Oh, once she
hold to you-
contacted me.
Uh-huh.
It was days. It was 2 or 3 days at best.
2 or 3 days. Okay.
No, we did it the same
The
time.
same day? It was the same day? I
It
don't-
was the
yeah.
same day. Remember, we did it the same day you were going on vacation? And I called, it was raining, and you said that maybe you couldn't do it, and then you called me after and we meet at the property. So we did it the same day.
So you're asking for administrative costs only?
Yes,
Is that what
ma'am,
you said?
please. Thank you.
I'll make a motion for administrative cost only.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
What was the motion?
Administrative cost,
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the administrative costs only of $732.84 to be paid by October the 25th of 2023, or it will revert back to the same amount. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Uh-huh. The next case is on page 30, second down. Last four, 3786, 5623 La Serena Avenue. Angel Perez is the owner. Charles McCullen is the officer.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 21-03786 for the address of 5623 La Serena Avenue. Owners are Angel Perez. Violations of 3947, Chapter 3, Section 305.3.1 roofs, structurally sound and maintained. Date of the violation was July 29th of 2021. On January the 25th, it was ordered that the respondents shall have until January 10th for compliance or will be fined $50 per day. Fine totals of $13,650 for 273 days of noncompliance. Affidavit of compliance was effective October the 10th of 2022. At this time, the city recommends a reduction to 10% of the original fine, which is $1,365, plus administrative costs of $315.51, for a total of $1,680.51 to be paid by October 25th of 2023 or revert back to the original amount.
Okay? State your name for the hearing.
Angel Perez.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I had the tarp because my roof was leaking, and I had a law fighting for with the insurance. The insurance is no longer on the market, so right now the law is still fighting with the
insurance claim. He's been in touch with me. He's still fighting the insurance claim, so he's still trying to get reimbursed. So he needs.
Oh man.
So that's why the tarp was in there.
So you fixed the roof yourself?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And you're waiting on reimbursement from the insurance?
Is this from the recent hurricane?
No, that was like I think it was like a storm or something like that. Was like on last year. I think it was.
Okay.
A little tornado?
So I've been fighting with a year and 3 months around that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Jeez. And Mr. McClellan, you were talking to him from the onset, from the...
Yes, he's been in touch with me a few times throughout the case. His main issue is the insurance company no longer exists, so he's having to get assistance to file a claim through a lawyer and everything.
He fixed it himself.
Sometimes I'm been back and forth with the law, and I don't know if she talked to him or not. So I mean, been miscommunication a lot of times with me and my law. So I'm sorry.
You have a motion?
So are you asking for, can you pay that 1680.51, or are you asking for something else?
I mean, if he can load it more, I mean, it will be good. But in 1 year, I probably can pay it off.
So you have a year on it.
I think I'm inclined to just do administrative costs though, because, I mean, he fixed the roof, he paid for it himself, and
Yes,
is still waiting. So I'll make a motion for administrative cost only.
yes. Second.
Yeah, you got it.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the administrative costs only of $315.51 to be paid by October the 25th of 2023. Is that good for you, sir?
Thank you.
Yeah, I hope you get that money back from the.
You have a nice day. Our next case is on page 32, the second down. Last four numbers 0989. Address is 1240 Sydney Avenue. Marvis Jackson, Mary H. Jackson.
They left.
Oh, that was another case they had. They left out of here. The one that,
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, they had a case.
That's a summary, we don't have.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Next case is on page 33, at the top of the page. 1734, last four numbers is 636 Hillside Drive. Dale A. Carpenter. Daniel Sheets is the code enforcement officer.
It's your turn.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 22-01734, that's 636 Hillside Drive. Owners are Dale and Kathleen Carpenter. Violations is for 3947, care of premises. Date of violation was on April 7th of 2022. Affidavit of compliance was filed on August 26, 2022 for fines totaling $540 for 18 days of noncompliance. It is the city's recommendation to reduce that to 10% plus admin costs, 10% being $54, admin costs of $247.97 for a total of $301.97. That's to be paid by October 25th of 23.
Okay. State your name for the hearing, sir.
Dale Carpenter.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
I have nothing to say. I'm not even awake right now, I guess.
Okay.
I make a motion we accept staff's recommendation.
A second.
Motion by Ms. Berryon, second by Mr. Wainwright. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff's recommendation of $301.97 to be paid by October the 25th of 2023. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think that's the only one for you.
That's the only one for him, yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Have a nice day. The next one down is, last four is 2068. Address is 714 Gilmore Avenue. Ernesto Santos and Joe Santos, the brother, is going to represent.
What page?
Page 33. Next on the bottom. Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Povey.
He was actually here and checked in, but since he was not, I guess, associated with the property, he was the property owner's brother, he couldn't really do much. He agreed with the recommendation if you wanted me to read it through. That's it though, but he's not here.
Okay.
Doing the blanket? Okay.
Oh, no, I'll still have to present it. It's not gonna be
Is it
blank.
gonna be different than what's on the agenda?
What's that?
Is your recommendation gonna change from what's on the agenda?
No, what's on the agenda is the recommendation, and he's okay.
It can go into blanket. It can go into blanket motion.
Oh, we don't read him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not sure about how that going again. Our last one, from my understanding,
Yeah.
Okay, is, last four numbers 2333, address is 137 Westover Street, Darren Shaw Harvey, Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Sheets.
Okay. Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, gets case number LCE 22-02333. It's 137 Westover Street. It's for Sean and Nicole Harvey. Violation for ordinance 3947 for care of premises. Date of violation was on April 29th of 22. Affidavit of compliance was filed on August 29th of 22 for fines totaling $630 for 21 days of noncompliance. It is the city's recommendation that this be reduced to 10% plus admin costs, 10% being $63, admin cost of $240.94, for a total of $303.94, and that's to be paid by October 25th of 23.
Okay, state your name for the hearing, sir.
Darren Harvey.
Okay, you have heard the officer. What do you have to say?
I got the place cleaned up and I'll pay the fine, so the
Okay.
reduction's good with me.
Okay.
Make motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff recommendation of $303.94 to be paid by October the 25th of 2023. Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Y'all have a good day too.
Okay, and I think that's the last person
Page 15,
what's this one?
bottom of the page.
Oh, that was everything. Okay.
He'll need to be sworn in.
He's
He
sworn
showed
in.
up late.
Was he sworn in?
No, he wasn't.
Sir, can you raise your right hand? You affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
What page?
15,
15?
bottom of the page.
Okay.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-01927 for the address of 746 East Garden Street. Owners are BMS Holdings LLC. Violations of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Sections 302.9, and others listed in the agenda. Date of the violation was April the 14th of 2022. It was ordered on August the 5th of 2022 that the respondent shall have until October 4th for total compliance, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed. Photos were taken on October 5th and October 18th. At this time, the city recommends the fine of $50 per day be imposed effective October the 5th of 2022 and run until compliance is met. I have had constant contact with the owner of the property or manager of the property, which he works for, and they have been in touch with me. They're having a lot of issues with the current tenant. Couldn't get in there to make the repairs, refusing, and now they're in the process of possibly even eviction of that tenant.
Okay. State your name for the hearing, sir.
Daniel Weinshanker.
Okay. What do
Can you
you
spell
have?
that?
Yes, WEINSHENKER.
Can you respell that, please?
Yes, WEINSHENKER.
Thank you.
Okay, so state your case.
Yes, they've been having issues with the tenant first not allowing them to get access, and then when they finally were able to get access, they were being screamed at. And they were actually outside the property looking at the shed that was damaged during the storm. Once the tenant found out that the shed was going to be demolished and she didn't have a place for washer and dryer, she refused entry to the property, and they're in the middle of doing the eviction right now.
Oh, I'll make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff recommendation of $50 per day fine effective October the 5th of 2022. Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
You too.
Okay. Who's, we doing this? Who's up first?
Blanket motion?
I'm not sure.
I think we still have some else to read in.
Unless it's
I'm not
something
sure
else.
what.
Okay. There's some that have a
Page
different
25.
recommendation, so we have to present them.
Oh, okay. 25?
Page 25, yes. Third one down.
Okay.
501 West Park. Do you need to introduce it, or do you want me to just start?
You can go ahead.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer of the City of Lakeland, case number PER 2202954, address 501 West Park Street. Owners listed as Newburgh Properties LLC. The violations of section 105.1 for permit required. At this time, the city would recommend to dismiss this case with no fines.
Motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff's recommendation. Thank you, Ms. Kaiser.
Hello.
Hello.
All right, we've got page 20.
What page?
20.
20?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
It is second from the top, Adam Gomez, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-03360 for 1727 Bayview Drive. Owner is Estate of Cynthia Lee Williams. This is an affidavit of compliance, dismissing with no fines as 10/24/2022.
Motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second.
second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff's recommendation. Next,
Page 23,
23.
bottom of the page.
Okay, go ahead.
Adam Gomez, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-04145, address of 1733 Bayview Drive. Owner is Frederick T. Parrish. This is an affidavit of compliance to dismiss the case with no fine.
Motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second.
second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff's recommendation.
Page 25.
25.
One on 24,
24.
bottom of 24.
Okay, bottom of 24.
Adam Gomez, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-04802. The address is 1301 West 10th Street. The owner on file is Cecilia C. Goodman, or the cited owner. This property, we want to file an affidavit of compliance to close admin as it now belongs to Polk County.
Motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second.
second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been motioned and approved to accept the staff's recommendation.
Thank you.
That's it?
I'm done.
Oh, okay.
Got him.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Bottom of page 3.
Bottom of page 3. Okay, go ahead.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement. Case numbers 11202, 101-28470. Address is 618 West 3rd Street. Owners are Wendell Carson. Violations care of premises. Date of violations 12/7/2010. The city's recommendation on this would be that the payment deadline be extended to 10/25/2023, revert back to the original amount.
Motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second.
second by Ms. Varian. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation.
Alex Gomez, page 4.
Page 4.
Sorry. Got to get ahead of myself.
Okay.
Top of page 4, case numbers 11-2021, 201-9788. Address is 618 West 3rd Street. This is a signed summary. The owners are Wendell Carson. Violation is house repair. Date of violation was 1/13/2022, and it's also a reconsideration. The city recommends that the fine payment be extended to 10/25/2023, or revert back to the original amount.
Motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second?
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berrien. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation.
This is right under that one again. Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers 11-2021-305-3678, address is 618 West 3rd. The owner is Wendell Carson. The violation for an unsecured building, date of violation is 5/1/2013. This is going to be a signed summary and also a reconsideration. City's recommendation is that the fine be, extended payment deadline be 10/25/2023. If it's not paid, it reverts back to the original amount.
Motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second.
second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation.
Top of page 6,
Okay,
it's going to be 217 West 7th.
okay.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case number is LCE 15-06385. The address is 217 West 7th Street. The owner is a George Patterson, violations ordinance 3947, and the below listed ordinances. City recommends that this case be dismissed with the fines already paid.
Motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation.
Top of page 7.
Okay.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 18-05713. Address is 618 West 3rd Street. Owners are Wendell Carson. I'm sorry. Wendell Carson. There's also going to be a summary and a reconsideration. The violations, ordinance 5425, section 5.17.35. Date of violation was 8/1/2018. The city recommends that the payment deadline being extended to 10/25/2023 or revert back to the original amount.
Make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second.
second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation.
I believe, middle page 14. Tammy, can you correct me on that or not?
What page?
14.
14.
14.
One on page 13.
You said 3 and 13?
13.
Okay, I'm sorry, yep. Okay, bottom of page 13 is going to be 1007 West 6th Street.
I think we continue this, or no?
We're going to continue.
We have to hear this.
We have to hear what you did. Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LC. Didn't we read this in? Ms. Brookins?
We did read a Ms. Brookins.
Yeah,
Did read this
There's
in.
only one case?
we did that one.
Okay, we did Ms.
Yeah.
Brookins already because we,
We did. You walked out.
Demolition permit.
Sorry.
okay, you're good.
Have anything?
3.
Yeah, we already did.
We read it in,
Did you read it earlier?
I read it in.
I don't remember
I wrote his recommendation down. He asked to have it continue to January.
Would you like me to reread it, just in case?
I don't have anybody who motioned and seconded.
Go ahead and read it back in.
Yeah, I don't remember the recommendation, but if it was different.
Which one?
the
Alex
Brookins-
Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-00929. Address is 1007 West 6th Street. The owners are listed in the agenda. The violations for ordinance 3947. The city recommends continuing this to the Code Enforcement Board on 1/24/2023 due to they're working with
Oh, yeah, the Florida.
Rebuilt Florida.
Yeah,
Rebuilt
yeah.
Florida. So their permits, the demolition permit's already in.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for the Rebuild Florida, and I've been on the phone with Alex from Rebuild Florida, or from the contractor, and he's just waiting on the paperwork.
Still go. I'll make a motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second.
second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Oh, yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation.
Middle, page 14, Tammy? We gotta read that, we gotta read middle, page 14, the AOC?
Page 14, the middle one.
Yeah, okay.
You have to read that one.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers page 14, middle.
Okay.
It's 621 West Fourth. Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-01036. The address is 621 West Fourth. The owner is Christopher Franklin. Violations ordinance 3947. City recommends that the case be closed with no fine due to affidavit of compliance on 10/21/2022.
Okay.
Make a motion to accept staff recommendation.
Motion by Ms. Berryon,
A second.
second by Mr. Wainwright. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation.
Middle of page 19, 1112 West 10th Street.
Okay.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement, case numbers LCE 22-03098. The address is 1112 West 10th Street. The owners are Brenda Young or James M. Young Sr. Violations ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, care of premises, open storage. A affidavit of compliance was completed on 10/24/2022, and we request that we dismiss with no fines.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Berryon,
Second.
second by Mr. Wainwright. We have a vote.
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation.
Page 24, 1147 West 5th Street.
Okay.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement. Case numbers LCE 22-04556. Address is 1147 West 5th Street. The address is HMP Housing LLC. Violation ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307, care of premises, overgrowth, open storage and junk. A affidavit of compliance was completed on today's date, and the city recommends that this case be closed with no fine.
Motion to accept staff's recommendation.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second.
second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff's recommendation.
I believe I'm done if Tammy says. Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a nice day. Now, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing here again. Do I just go through the motion as before and then read something at the back, you say?
It's just added in with the,
You started just like
there.
normal.
yeah, just like you normally do.
Okay. All right. Reconsiderations. The motion so ordered for the cases on pages 2 through 8 in which the respondents did not appear is to deny reconsideration unless summary disposition was signed as stated in the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright, second by Ms. Berryon. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved. The cases continued. For the motion so ordered for the cases on pages 10 through 26 in which the respondents did not appear and are not in compliance is that the fines be imposed unless summary disposition was signed in the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second.
second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation. Dismiss with a fine. The motions are ordered for the cases on page 27 through 35 in which the respondents did not appear is to dismiss with fines unless summary disposition was signed as listed in the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second.
second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendation. Dismiss with no fine. The motions are ordered for the cases on pages 36 through 47 that are now in compliance is to dismiss with no fine.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright.
Second.
Second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted to approve the cases as ordered.
And then the last one is going to be your summary
Summary disposition,
ones. You'll have to read that.
the wording. Adopt summary dispositions. The motion so ordered for all remaining cases that have not yet been heard today is that all signed summary dispositions be adopted with the terms as stated in the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wainwright,
Second.
second by Mr. Duke. Do we have a vote?
Yes.
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 It has been voted and approved to accept the staff recommendations.
Before you adjourn, I just want to make the November CEB, since Thanksgiving, we're moving the one from the 22nd to the 15th. So we'll send out a notice on that. The December hearing, we are canceling. We are not doing a CEB hearing in December because of the closeness of the hearings.
Okay.
So we're going to, all those hearings will be scheduled for January.
Okay.
So it will be like today.
November 15th.
Will be November 15th.
Afternoon, because there's planning and zoning board that morning.
Okay, when I schedule it, well, they should be done.
They should be.
They should be done. I mean, the last time we scheduled it, they were pretty much.
Anything exciting happening in planning and zoning?
But
Any of these guys?
I will confirm with them and double check, but when I made when I scheduled the hearing, they were okay with it. But I'll double check on that. But yes, so our December hearing, we will not have a CEB hearing in December. So, and that's all I have.
Thank you so much. That's it. No one else has anything to say? We are closed. Here, we are adjourned.